What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. I'm Sunshinery. Make sure to subscribe.
I know that I can't go on without you. It's hard, cause it took 5 years until I found you.
Guys, I look fucking tired. Too tired to make up some shit or lie about some stupid ass fucking shit. Let me just get the thing with Joe out of the way really quick. I hear all of your comments. My producers have told me it was really challenging for me to listen back, and it was really challenging for me to even speak my truth and talk about my experience because I was constantly interrupted. I love Joe. She has a heart of gold, is what we say. I love my co-host. She's one of my best friends. But it was challenging to have such a serious conversation on a comedy platform. But the comment that Victoria made, that I didn't set any boundaries, for her to speak for me when I chose to not say one fucking word. I know so much gross, dark shit that's happened in that house and around Tom, and I have been so respectful. I have chose not to say anything. When everyone unfollowed each other in New York, and by the way, that was not the first time they unfollowed each other. They're like children. They fight so much. They block each other, then they unblock each other. When I say toxic, I'm talking these people need to be far from each other, not together. But when everyone unfollowed each other, I had so many people DMing me, Bravo accounts, tabloids hitting me up. I said nothing. I chose to say nothing. And then she's gonna go and speak for me and say that I didn't set a boundary? How dare you? So she can come out and say that I'm lying. I don't have time. I'm literally on a fucking national tour, a comedy tour for Pride, and I'm filming a movie right now. I love my life, but I'm tired. And I literally do not have time to lie, and I don't have time for her bullshit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. We are here for Billie and the Kid podcast. I'm excited for a second one. I really enjoyed the first one. And the second one, I can tell is going to be much better. One, because Joe will not be there to interrupt Billie every 5 seconds. And because she is talking about Tom Sandoval's girlfriend, Victoria, and showing receipts. So this is going to be a wonderful episode. Of course, if you have not seen the first one or the Up and Adam one that I've done, or even just the quick recaps, which literally go over everything that's happened so far until this episode, because this episode didn't come out until the 12th. So that wasn't even part of it because this came out after. And don't worry, I have done a long form video. I'm just working on a couple things left, and that will be out after this. So you can have the long form version of everything that's happened with my opinion. Because I know with the quick recaps, I didn't give my opinion. And it was meant to be quick, and it ended up being 30 minutes because so much just kept happening. And I did want to, weigh in on some things. So at this point, Victoria and Kyle Chan went up on Up and Adam's podcast on his YouTube channel. They told their side of the story. And here we are today with Billie Lee and, of course, the kid, Sammy, and Tia, which is also who dated Tom Sandoval. So this is going to be very interesting. Everybody, let's buckle up. Let's go. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a video or go live. Okay, let's get into it.
Well, top 10 funniest moments of the week. Tom Sandoval blocked me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, literally couldn't be funnier. I have nothing to do with any of this shit besides the fact that I'm on the podcast with Billie and that we're, like, best friends. But it's, like, how many times I talked to Tom? 5?
He blocked my assistant. He's met her, like, twice.
It's literally hilarious. I saw that he blocked Amanda because she posted about it. And that's when I checked. And I was like, I didn't even follow him. I think it's literally
Isn't he
hilarious.
not supposed to have access to social media? So who's blocking you?
Yeah, he didn't block you, though.
He didn't. He still follows me.
Which is funny because the whole entire time you came on here and talked shit about him and made fun of his penis or whatever, like, he was like, take that down. I can't believe you're friends with her. But, like, he's still following you. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, we were still hanging out till December. Like, you know, he was trying to meet my mom.
In December?
Yes.
When did you
Oh.
start dating Victoria?
November?
Our sweet angel Victoria.
Oh.
I think November, right?
I mean, he was calling me in Thailand. He was calling me in Asia, being like, oh, we're here. Look at this. Look at my hotel, you know.
Yeah, he definitely has already cheated on Victoria several times. I hate to break it to her, but, like, I hope she's not really trusting him because that's hysterical. Where do we start with this? Oh, my God. It's like, we got some printouts right here. Cool.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay,
Yes.
paper. I love paper.
We have so many allegations, so we had to get things printed and be organized because obviously that live they did was a hot fucking mess.
I feel like we're in court right now.
I know.
We're literally like, let's go over the allegations.
Yes.
Like, but I can't get like that. By the way, I was on set filming my first movie. While this live was happening, I was chiming in, being like, that's a lie. That's a lie. And then when I saw how she was like slurring her words, I was like, and I saw just like the hot mess that it is. And then I was seeing all the comments where they're like, Team Billie, like, what is she on? What is going on? I was like, they're literally doing me a favor. Like, that is what everyone's DMing me. That's what everyone's messaging me. I can't believe they literally went on there and was like,
Which I don't know if you guys caught that either, but Billie just said that Sandoval has already cheated on Victoria with multiple women already. Once a cheater, always a cheater. God damn. Sandoval, I thought you were learning from your mistakes. I don't know if these are accusations. I don't know. Maybe she'll show some receipts and we'll see some actual proof to those claims. But I do want to show you the video that Billie is talking about that she made while she was on set filming a movie and she was responding to the Up and Adam live. So let's take a look at that video.
you guys, I literally was watching that live. Like, the lies, I'm like, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Like, why are they keep on saying, where's the recording? I have so much to process and tell you guys. Oof, I'm gonna write notes. I'm gonna get my shit together. I'm gonna say what I need to say and then I'm gonna be done with this. But I am going to check off all of what they're saying because I know for a fact I did not say certain things, I did not do certain things, and I know the fucking truth. And while this was all happening, I literally had to put the live down and go film a scene where I'm like some hippie goddess chick, free spirit. Like, do you know how hard it was for me to calm my nerves down and channel this character, Moon and Sun? I'm literally a fucking actress after today. I killed that scene.
I don't know. There's something about these Billie Lee, like, petty little IG, like, stories where she's like, and I'm over here busy trying to channel Sun and Moon, and I'm the best actress ever. It was great. I loved it. She did also do another post after she was done for the day, so I want you guys to check that out now as well.
A vegan spicy cauliflower crust pizza from Lucifer's Pizza. That's what I deserve. I just want you guys to know that I am unpacking all of this from the live and I am gonna get this all together. I'm probably gonna jump in the studio to talk about this. Yeah, I was just like shocked, then mad, and then now my feelings, I'm just like all over the place. It just like blows my mind how they could say things that I never said. Like, especially with Kyle, like I never once mentioned anything about him in a public way. So they're the ones bringing it up. Like, should he sue himself? I will just say this, that like I had to like stop watching it because I had to go to a scene, but like the accusations and not having any receipts or any proof, like nothing, like they had one text from me texting Kyle today, wondering why he was going on that because of what Victoria said about him. And here I have so many receipts. Yeah, so it's all going to be put out there. I feel like this is going to be like the ultimate fail of trying to bring me down. That's how they're going to see this. That's how everyone's going to see this because like y'all, I'm like, my mind is blown. Oh my God. I can't. Okay, I know I just stuttered. This is the last thing that I'm going to say. The amount of love that I'm receiving from so many people, like messaging me, commenting, DMing, I'm trying to respond, and people on the live, all those people coming in and believing me, like, y'all, I fucking love you. Like, it really makes me feel less alone and like not as crazy having y'all backing me and believing me. Like, I was so emotional with that live, and it wasn't even like their shit. It was y'all being there for me and saying Team Billie and just believing in me. Like, I can't believe it. It's this is what we're doing, and like this is what's happening, but y'all are here with me, and I really appreciate it. Look at us learning and growing together, y'all.
So let's start with a live if we can. We have T here. I brought my special guest, one of my besties in here because she has been with me throughout the entire time we filmed. Before that, I introduced her to Tom. And also I hike with her weekly. So she knows when I was going through this drama with them in real life, she was there to hear it.
Yes, I heard these things like day after Billie would call me. But even before Vanderpump, Billie and I had no clue she was on this show. We did not know. I was just girlfriends with her, you know.
We met in acting class.
Yeah.
I never talked
I
about
had
reality.
700 followers. We were chilling, hiking, like seriously from like bottom up, like truly.
That's what happened with us. I didn't fucking know Vanderpump. Are you fucking kidding me?
Exactly.
I've unfortunately learned it through being best friends with her, but like,
yes.
Yeah,
you know?
and I went from literally Tom's house to your house
Yeah.
almost every day.
Those are your stops.
And you know how I would literally show up at your house like a hot mess crying because of the drama that I had to experience with them.
Yep. And you experienced all that and still showed up day after day to be a good friend. So
Literally,
let that go.
still showed
Yes,
up.
I don't think people understand how much Billie was doing. Dry cleaning, like damage control, cleaning the house.
Damage
We
control.
used to, oh my gosh, those floors, I've never seen anything worse. Like clean, it was just everything. It was truly everything.
The thing is, like when Ariana left, there was a period where the dog was, when the affair first happened, the dog was still there and the cat. And so I was dog sitting a lot, as I do. You guys know.
Maya.
Yeah, Maya. You guys know I dog sit a lot for a lot of friends.
Dog. You love that dog.
And there was, Maya peed and pooped a lot on the rugs. So it was just like, the
Those
smell was really
rugs.
bad. Kitty liked to pee everywhere. Like it was just a really bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I spent a lot of time getting all of those rugs up, getting them moved out, getting the place cleaned. Because I would joke, but like, my mom, when she was young, like when we were young and they were struggling parents, like I grew up in a trailer at my very young age, and our trailer was cleaner than that house. And I was like, Tom, we gotta do something.
And listen, as someone that has their own mental health issues, that fights depression and anxiety, I get being in a very depressive state. And I've been in that place before to understand. But when you're letting your animals piss and shit on the rugs and not cleaning it up, that's a problem. These animals are relying on you. And then you wonder why Ariana was screaming at you the way that she did, because she knows how fucking careless you really were, Sandoval. And even Billie is saying it. And I get, like, you are at your lowest of lows. But you are so lucky to have a friend like Billie that came over, that cleaned up, and tried to get you into a better state of mind every single day. Because one of the hardest things about being in a really depressive state is the, like, not want to clean or feel like doing anything. And when your environment gets like cluttered or dirty or just all over the place, your mind is that way, and it doesn't help your mind at all, any bit. So having a friend help you clean up and make sure that the place was together and brand new kind of thing, getting the rugs out of there and making it better for you. She was helping you. And for everything that they've said so far, it's like you didn't give two shits about Billie and all the hard work she put into that friendship just to help you through one of the hardest times of your life. That makes me sad for her. Because when you're a friend, you expect, if you're in that position and you did that for one of your friends, that they would be there for you. And I totally feel like Sandoval wouldn't do the same for Billie. It just seems that way to me. And that's sad. That's really sad. I'm glad that Billie kind of has seen the light. It's sad that their friendship is ruined over a relationship, but you cannot keep yourself in a toxic situation, especially when it's not your toxic relationship that you're dealing with. I'm glad that she's removed herself, and it might be the best thing that's ever happened. Though I know it really hurts too, I promise in the long run, you're going to feel such a weight lifted off of your shoulders that you are going to feel so much better about the choice that you made.
I also just want to back up a little bit because I've seen so many comments. Like when Tom and Ariana, when the affair happened, I spent most of my time in Indiana. I was like madly in love with one of my old best friends back at home. So I wasn't really here involved in Vanderpump or the affair or anything like that. And then when I was here and the affair happened, I was at Tom Tom when the whole fight happened and Ariana found out. I went to Tom and Ariana's house. It felt like a death in the family. I cried. I was there for Ariana for like 6 weeks after the Tom Tom incident, after she found out. I was fully there for her. I was so pissed at Tom. Even though he was like a brother to me, like family, I was still really upset. And then one of our friends, Jason and Kimmy, who I love and adore, who I introduced them to Tom, was like, Tom is not doing well. Like, he really needs a friend. Like, we're really worried about him. And that's when I stepped in. And at the same time, I was still dog sitting and helping. So I texted Ariana and I said, hey, girl, I'm going to your house. I'm also going to be dog sitting. I'm like, I just want to give you the heads up. And she said, okay, I love you, but I hate him. Mm-hmm. Because of the paparazzi seeing us out and me there the whole weekend, she unfollowed me, blocked me. That's when I lost all my friends, including her. So I wasn't like I just randomly picked a side and was like, I'm going to go with Tom. Like, I was really there as much as I could for Ariana. And I understand she had to build and create a boundary, which was like, anyone who is friends with Tom is not friends with me. Yeah. I get that. It still really hurt me. Obviously, if I was friends with her, I wouldn't talk about Tom. I wouldn't discuss that. I would just be there for her. But I get it. Like, that's her journey. However, apparently she is still friends with Kyle, who knew the whole time, I guess.
And see, that's so sad to know that Billie had told Ariana she was going to go over there and speak with Tom and all of that. And just all those pictures with her and Tom and the paparazzi caused that relationship to crumble. And yeah, she still was close with Kyle, but I don't think her relationship with Kyle was exactly the same either. I do believe that Ariana was very closed off with Kyle because she knew he was closer to Tom and that Tom, you know, and him were together more than her and him per se. So they remained friends, but it wasn't the same kind of a friendship. And I think that will be something that in due time, Ariana might find herself apologizing to Billie for, you know, letting it get the way that it did. Especially, like, as a reality star, you should know that the tabloids do and say things to cause drama, to try and cause rifts, to make people think about things that aren't true, and to start issues. And that might have been one of the things that caused an issue. And I did see it back then. I have the photos of Billie with Tom walking the dog and them moving boxes out of a car and things like that. So they were together a lot. And maybe Ariana just didn't expect it to be that way when Billie was with her for the first 6 weeks. So that's just very interesting to know that That's what really caused the end of their friendship. It's sad. And then I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what if Ariana found out something that maybe Billie said to Tom that really hurt her? Maybe she found out things that Billie knew about the affair. We don't know if Billie knew about the affair. I know she said she wasn't around for that time, but we don't know what Tom might have said to Billie. And then now Billie's close with Joe. And that's, Joe was with Schwartz. And that's, Katie, her best friend's ex-husband. So I can see where the separation happened. And I can only hope that with time, wounds can heal. And maybe they can be friends again.
So we're going to go to the live.
Yes. Here we go.
Yeah. The live, I want to just start off with Kyle. He goes on to tell me Billie's a good person. He says these positive things about me, but then immediately follows with like these really negative things. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start with just negative things about Kyle because I don't think positive of him. I've always thought he was fake. Right. His entire business is to put his jewelry on famous people.
Right.
His job is to be friends with all these famous people. And when he said this story, like when I first met Billie, she was like, oh, do you want to put your jewelry on me? Do you like trans people? First of all, I don't know if I was intoxicated or not. I don't fully remember the conversation, but I do know my intention was, I'm going to be on this show. There's going to be press on me. If you want me to wear your stuff as a loan, not even as like a gift, I'm open to that, like that. I think that was the initial conversation. It wasn't like, hey, I'm trans, you need to gift me all this jewelry. Like, what the fuck? Like, who would say that? Like,
That's
I definitely
the job of influencers is to be like, do you want me to wear your clothes on this TV show?
Yeah. First of all, my first
Yes.
2 seasons, people threw stuff at me to wear on the show. So like, I literally was just like, oh, this is Tom's friend. Like, that was the start of that. And I realized also he wasn't as kind to me until he realized like, oh, she is on the show and she is doing something with her life. Because again, as a jeweler, and especially him, he has to attach himself to famous people, and he has to play the middle ground, which is why he didn't like pick sides when it came to Tom and Ariana.
Now, for me, that makes a ton of sense. And like she said, she doesn't remember the exact conversation, but it's like that's what his job is. She knew she was going to be on the show, so it was like, hey, do you want me to wear your necklace since, like I'll be filming the scene kind of a thing? Like clearly they were filming scenes at that point. So I can totally understand that. And that is a completely amazing reason why Kyle did not choose sides. Because of the fact he has to have these famous friends that he designs jewelry for. So if he takes a side, Tom or Ariana's, then he's going to lose one of them. And let's be real, at the moment, Ariana is bigger than Tom is at the moment. You know what I mean? She's looking beautiful on Love Island. I'm going to do a total like Love Island recap of all her amazing outfits. Which, shoot, let me tell you about this Instagram page that I have been following for quite a while. Her name is Draw Me Bitch. And she made this amazing like magnet design where you can change Ariana's outfits and hairstyles, but she also did it for like a draw me where you can cut it out as well. So I will give you can see right now on the screen everything that she's done. Isn't it beautiful? Go check her out on IG. The link will be down in the description for you. I had to share this with you guys because literally she does amazing work. But anyways, Billie was right about Kyle, and that does make complete sense.
Also, the trans card. Like, when did I ever say anything about being trans?
You weren't on the live, and people were like, Billie said the trans card. I'm like, she's not even on the live.
I didn't say that, like, our friendship broke up because I was trans. I didn't like Victoria because I was trans. I used the trans card one time in 2018, I believe, when I was on this season. It was Girls' Night In. I was triggered by that. Yes, that one time I pulled the trans card, that one time I was triggered. I later found out it wasn't even Katie that created the list. It was production. That's reality TV for you. And so I'm just like, where are you getting this trans card? And for you to be an LGBTQ person and sit there and say that I'm pulling the trans card, fuck you, Kyle.
It's unfair.
It's so unfair. It's so awful. And like, shame on you. Like, I'm sorry, but you lose all the cards in the LGBTQ community because that right there was disgusting, like from the start. And then he's going to say, and I could sue her. Let's go into the allegation.
Yes.
Sue me.
We're back in court.
Yeah. Sue me. And I'm going to just start with allegedly.
Yeah,
This
right.
is the theme.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I created this lie about Kyle and told people when I didn't. There's no proof that I said anything. And then I never would go on live. Even if I were like to think of some crazy shit like that, I would not go on live and talk about it in a public way. However, he did. Like, I'm confused how you can make up something.
And then sue that person. You can make up a lie and then sue that person?
Yeah.
That is not how that works.
Exactly.
No, that is not how that works.
No.
Like,
I said it then, and I'll say it now. I don't think that Billie at all ever pulled the trans card, especially with the podcast or anything else involving this situation. And like she said, she did pull it one time back in 2018 on Vanderpump, and that was understandable. And look who was behind that production. Wow. We learn things every day. But these allegations, first the allegation was that Victoria was the one who said that Kyle drugged Tom. That's what she said. Victoria was the only one switching it around, saying that it was on camera even, but not providing any proof at all. But I have a feeling Billie's going to get into it, so let's listen.
So let's just, and I know you know this, but let's just talk about how this lie came about. There was a situation where Victoria found a text message or she saw a text message from Kyle, and Kyle was like, oh, is she having one of her tantrums or a manic episode again? It was something I don't know word for word. So we were downstairs in the kitchen. This is what she was talking about in the kitchen. And by the way, she knew there was no cameras working because I begged for cameras to be working.
we all knew.
We all knew. I like literally house sit there all the time. Strangers would come up to the door because there's no gate code. And I said, you guys, you know me, stranger danger. I watch one true crime show and I think someone's murdering me. I was like, please get the cameras working. All you need is a hard drive. Tom never did it. I kept begging. When Victoria came into the picture, I even told her, I said, can you convince him to do it? My car got broken into. Still no cameras. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So she bought these 2 cameras that are like Nest cameras, like one for the front door, one for the back door. They literally set in the box on the counter, on the bar, or on the table in the kitchen the entire time, probably while we were having this exact conversation.
Also, the red light blinking, like, girl, there is no red light. There has never been a red light. Like, I even asked, oh, do these work? He's like, I don't know the passcode for something. I don't know the login. Like, there has never been a time where these cameras worked.
Okay, so here's the thing about the cameras. And this is obviously going to force them to get the hard drive immediately because I want them to be safe. I'm not doing this to, like, ever put any harm or physical harm on anyone. I want this house to be protected, and that's how I've always felt. Yes. However, the cameras do work as in they do pick up the image. It goes to the master TV, but there are no hard drive to record anything. Which is like if you get a Nest camera, that goes to the internet and then it goes to your phone and you can save those videos. So if she really wanted to catch me in a lie, wouldn't you think she would open those cameras and put them somewhere? Like, that blew me away right there. And so when she found the text, she said, Billie, I need to talk to you about something. This was in the kitchen. She's like, I think Kyle's fake. And I think he's in love with Tom. And I said, well, funny you should say that because T told me the exact same thing. She thought Kyle was fake and that he was in love with Tom. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, have they ever messed around? And I said, no. And she's like, are you sure? And I was like, one time when they first met, they got fucked up on drugs like we normally do. Maybe it was at a festival. I don't know. And he hit on Tom. That's all I said. He got fucked up on drugs and he hit on Tom. And this
Everyone flirts when they're on drugs at a festival. That cancels out.
Exactly.
Literally.
Like, and Tom's clearly not offended by it because he hangs out with him.
He's
best friends with him.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Tom loves when people hit on him.
It's also funny to hear someone be like made these allegations and saying that they're fake. That's what they're saying about you. That you're in love with him and you're the fake one. It's like it's flipping. It's the exact same.
When I watched this, I
thing.
was like, they literally took everything and flipped it, which
Literally.
is crazy. But also,
Now that makes complete sense. Like, here, I even said it when Victoria was talking about it on the Up and Adam video that I did. I was like, it was probably something stupid, like she heard something, or like they were fucked up one time and Kyle was flirting with him. funny how they take one little thing and they twist it into a narrative to fit their story to make themselves look like the victims. I want to know, though, why the text mentioned it, though. Which I feel Billie will probably get into that, too. But I just feel like that was weird that Billie included it in the text. Unless it was something that they've talked about. Where it's like, Victoria's accused you of drugging Tom. And I've told you this kind of a thing. Let's find out. Oh, and the cameras don't work. Funny how then there's no footage. And yes, all you need is a hard drive for those cameras. It's not that hard. It's a little SD thing, and you can buy it on Amazon. So, why aren't you scared for your protection? Like, that is the easiest thing to get. And people clearly were begging you for these cameras to work. I would have, like, when Billie was watching the dog, I would hope that she would have had protection from you in case something happened, knowing that there were people at that point that didn't like you doing bad things to your restaurant and things like that. Why wouldn't you get an SD card to make sure that the cameras were recording? Stupid. You know what's funny, though? I was literally telling my boyfriend yesterday, I was like, back in the day when I lived here in this apartment, it was like 2007, 2008, and we had a camera for the bottom of the stairs where people come in because we have a door, then stairs to go into our apartment. So I was like, back then, like, you didn't have the option of recording. All you had was a live feed. And I remember it being like this small black and white TV that, like, were made for, like, I don't know, garages or campers or trucks. It had the radio and all of that. We had that set up so we could see who was at the door. I was like, back then, we didn't have an option to record. Now, we do. So if, like, we have that option, why wouldn't we use that option? Especially, like, if something was to happen, you have the evidence. Evidence is key. I learned that working at a law firm, and I've learned that, and I've used that my entire existence ever since. Even here on YouTube. So, bummer. We're not going to get to see any of that footage because it doesn't exist.
That come out of Tom's mouth as well. Like, literally, I would not lie about this. Tom, after they came back from Vegas, Kyle and him went to Vegas. I'm not sure if this was for BravoCon or what, but he was like, yeah, when he takes Ambien at night, he doesn't remember, and he gets a little, zesty, gets a little flirty, which is fine. Like, yes, when you're on Ambien, you don't remember. If you don't hit the pillow quickly,
Danger.
You do not know what is going on.
Never let Kyle loose on Ambien in Vegas, dude.
Yeah, it's just like you're fighting the drug, that's why.
Yeah.
So, like, I've heard him say that too. It wasn't like, it creeped me out. It wasn't like that. It was just like, yeah, I think it's funny. Like,
Yeah, and like, Kyle has like a million pretty boys that look
Yeah.
somewhat straight or act straight around him. Like,
Right.
that's very obvious to me. I mean, if you literally could just hang out with him one time and you would get that. But yes, he told you this.
Right, so Tom is a bad friend. He's saying these things behind Kyle's back. Kyle has no clue. I would not lie about this. Kyle just has no clue that Tom is shady.
Yeah.
Like, Kyle's being a great friend right now, backing him up with his girlfriend, who obviously could not have done the live alone because she can't speak.
Yeah.
But, so Kyle's being there, and I just feel bad for Kyle because he's being such a good friend to Tom, does not know Tom is saying these things to his friends behind his
Yeah.
back.
And
You were best friends with Tom, too, until he started saying shit behind your back to Victoria. It's like,
yes.
That's
You
just
don't-
what
you
he
don't know.
does, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that
even if you know that he does bad things in the public eye, the way that he treats these people in their personal relationships, like, you have a reason to trust him and be there for him, or else
Right.
you wouldn't be, like, by his side.
Yeah,
like that.
and I think he definitely did some things where he pinned us against each other, Victoria and I, because I literally would hear him screaming on the phone and be like, "You're isolating me from my friends. Like, Billie, everyone's telling me you're isolating me." And then they said that I was isolating him. I'm like,
That's her putting
what?
that in his ear, and he's repeating it, though, because that doesn't
Literally.
even seem like language he would use, dude. You know, that's like...
Isolation usually comes from a toxic partner.
Mhm.
There's not really friends. Like, majority of the time, it's from a partner, you know, who wants all of his attention. From a friend, you've had him. When this whole situation came down, it was only you and him. And Kyle, like,
And when you
what?
came in the picture, what was my feelings?
you were so supportive. You were literally like, yeah, just know he's probably going to get his dick wet somewhere else.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's a great person.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I was like, yes, he's generous. He has a nice heart. Not the brightest person. I've said this before.
Yeah.
We all know this. But, you know, you were very supportive. It was never, I was always like, Billie, come over because we just woke up. Like,
Yes.
it was never like, I would always be like, come over, please.
Thank you. So didn't I was so relieved when Tom would have a girlfriend or like even T, I was like, I'm not on duty.
Yeah.
Because Tom
we would always say that. We'd always be like, I'm like, you're on duty tonight, Billy, because I need to sleep
We took shifts.
earlier than 5 a.m. 7 a.m. in the morning. I need to sleep. Billy, it's you.
Tom is a very codependent person. He's a very needy person.
Yes.
He would literally like ask me to come over all the time. It was him texting me, being like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I would be like, what are you doing? I'm going to stop by. Most of the time he was sleeping. I would stop by during the day and like do laundry or whatever, like pick up the house or something. Like I was very housewife in a way, but like strictly no, I was not fucking him. So
when
I
no
just want to
one's
put that out
taking
there.
care of the house and there's an animal there, it's like, of course, it's a big nice house and like, you know.
Well, also I sublet my girlfriend Christine's apartment that was just down the street the entire time because I knew that he was having me there every day. I didn't want to drive a lot. A lot of times I would just end up staying over there. So I made sure that I had all my stuff somewhere close by. But I was so relieved when he did have a friend or a girlfriend because I wasn't with him 24/7 and I have my own life. I have guys that I'm hanging out with, like things that I'm doing on my own.
I will say that Tom doesn't know how to be alone. He hasn't been alone in a very long time. He literally has gone from one relationship to the next. And the most amount of time that he's really had in between was probably right after Ariana. I mean, he had a little bit of time in between where he still thought he was kind of with Rachel, though she was at rehab, but really he was alone there. Then he started hanging out with T, and then went from T to Victoria. This is how this man is. He has to have that person always with him to be able to do things for him, to be able to control. It's partially because of the narcissistic personality traits that he has, but he just doesn't know how to be alone. And this is a perfect example why he should have took this time instead to learn to be alone, learn to love himself, learn to figure out who he is as a person, and to have more of the opportunity to be better in any relationship moving forward. Because clearly, if you go from one to the next, the same patterns are going to repeat. And we're seeing it even with Victoria. I also will say being alone during a really hard point in your life is also something that is very hard. Having the friends and support behind you is a big factor in help, but you cannot also get codependent on them. You need your friends to be there to uplift you and help you get through this, but you can't be relying on them like you would with a partner. And if you push it to that point, then that's even more showing the codependency problem that you have. And that's what happened here.
And then let's get into, and even like, I will say this, like when Victoria was like, oh, your friend Billie is here a lot. And he's like, yeah, I love having her around. And it's like,
you took care of things for him and you supported him when no one else did. Like, of course.
Literally no one else.
No one else
like,
in the world supported him. He was the number one, what's the New York Times article? What's it called?
Number one hated.
The number one most hated man in America. And Billie Lee was by his side during that. You had no reason to be unless you were an actually good friend.
Oh, I went
stick
through.
Around if you want to fuck, like no, you're being a fucking good person and a good friend.
Yeah,
you didn't have to be.
And there was times where he like would speak upon his family and be like, "Hey, I need you to do this for me, and you do that." And I showed up in a way like I was literally his family.
True. So the fact that this is happening, honestly, shows a lot about his character. Even though, he might be a nice person, I don't believe that anymore because this is honestly crazy that he would do this to Billie. Like, I've seen it. Everyone sees how much Billie did, and now I take back everything that I've said about, oh, he has a kind heart, he's a nice person. Nice people don't do this. They remember who helped them when they were down. Nice people don't do this. Like, I'm
beyond down.
I'm over
like,
the
negative below rock bottom.
Ridiculous.
Still there.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that because I swear to you, my heart's broken right now.
And friend breakups are so difficult, especially you guys were. I can't even.
It's also crazy. Like, you made it through. It's crazy the falling out is happening now because like you made it through the hardest time. Like, you were there in the hardest time of his entire life. Like, America hated him.
Mm-hmm.
All of America hated him. He was like the most hated man in pop culture. And Billie, through that, knowing the repercussions of what it came with, was still his friend and by his side. So it's crazy that when she was the support system in that period of time, that now this happened. It's like, do you not remember the last 6 months, you fucking idiot, of what she just did for you?
I hope he rethinks all the things truly after like hearing this and seeing the podcast. I hope he rethinks it and is like, shit, I fucked up because this is not right. This is not okay.
He won't see it because we're all blocked.
I'm not blocked
I'm
Yeah,
blocked.
you're not.
until after
Me being
this.
blocked- me being blocked is the funniest part of the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, what did I do, dude?
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things too for me is like I try not to have regret, but like losing Ariana and losing friends, like
Your family.
yeah, that really hurts.
It's okay. You
all
have
the time.
Weisers.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate that.
I feel bad for Billie, but unfortunately, Sandoval is not going to watch this back and think, wow, Billie did so much for me. She was truly an amazing friend when I needed a friend the most. And I can't believe that I did this to her. Because he has no feelings being such a narcissist. And again, I'm not a doctor, but I personally feel he has narcissistic traits, and it very much shows. Even his 9-year relationship with Ariana, he couldn't even take a moment to apologize to her for what he did to her, even knowing all she did for him throughout those 9 years, which was a lot. So, unfortunately for Billie, I don't think she's going to get an apology from him, but I think she does need to move on. This will be the best thing that has happened for her. I do want to play clip number 2 of, so in the beginning when I showed the part about what she was talking about after the podcast number 18 with Joe, it was 9 minutes. So I clipped it into 3 parts. The part about the podcast that she did with Joe and what she plans to do with this one. This part is strictly emotions about Tom and how she feels. And clip 3 will be about Victoria. So I want you guys to take a look at clip number 2 and just how she was feeling after the last podcast.
I have worked. I'm going to get emotional just thinking about this. It was really hard for me to lose all my friends because I was there for Tom. It was so hard. They were like my family. But because I was stuck with Tom, and Tom was one of my best friends, I was like, I just want him to get better. I want him to get healthy. He was sober. He was working out. Like, things were so positive. Like, I hired him an assistant who, like, organized his entire life, and we took up all the rugs that had pee and shit on it from the previous animals. We did so much to just make sure that his life was organized and good, you know? And he's a grown-ass man. He can do whatever he wants. But when he didn't tell me the first few times that he was drinking. He kept it from me. But I noticed the behavior change. His anxiety went up, his depression. The house was disgusting. It was as if someone literally, like, had a frat party and then just went to bed. And his assistant, who I worked really hard to get and who I trained, and they quit because he did not want to clean up after someone who partied every night. And I understand that. He moved here for film and TV. Like, he thought this would be an opportunity to move up or something, and that just wasn't his thing. And I agree. It was depressing every time I went there in the morning. So this is all when he started dating Victoria, and he's like started drinking because they party a lot. And like I said on my podcast, things just took a really scary, dark turn. And I just saw my best friend like go down. It's just like you work so hard to help someone, and then I know everyone can relate to this who has a best friend who's a fucking hot mess. And it was hard to see my friend just lose control and be in this really toxic situation and have all this anxiety and then money problems, and it was hard.
I want to move into the intervention, and this is where I have my first receipt.
Oh, someone who has
That's our new
receipts?
segment.
Someone who
have
has a
proof?
receipt. Yeah.
This is like a new
Whoa.
segment. Receipts.
Receipts.
Yes, receipts.
Welcome to receipts.
Wow.
It really blew my mind how they like had this whole lead up to a receipt. That
Should we tell them? Okay, yeah, we weren't gonna say this, but and the cameras weren't on. No,
Yeah,
there's no proof. No, should we tell them? No, there's no proof.
Okay, T just summed up the entire hour and a half live, which literally about 10 minutes. Wait, I wrote this down and I sent it to Billy. What was it? Oh, okay. Kyle Chan and Victoria were like, we were gonna keep quiet. We didn't want to say anything. Bitch, you're the one that made the first comment online that made Billy speak up in the first place. Billy, as someone who was there for her every day,
Right.
she was fucking quiet for the last 6 to 8 weeks about it because she was like, I don't even want to give the satisfaction of talking about it, and I don't want to hurt anyone who's already struggling. Obviously, like they're
Right.
unwell mentally, and literally they're like, we were gonna keep quiet. You're the one that made the first comment online that brought it to light. So like,
Right.
shut up about keeping quiet and like. You're the one that made the fake receipt in the first place.
Yeah, these are months
know?
and months of stories. Like I
Yeah.
heard these live time. This isn't like Billy woke up one day and was like, "I've got 30 stories to tell." Like no, this is
it's an
like
accumulation.
months long. Yes, this
Yeah,
is months
yeah.
of it. I
I
think
feel like
that's
you
so
need
funny.
I do need this. I'm
Yeah,
so
you need
emotional,
it.
guys.
Billy's like going like this. I'm like, she actually needs it. The one time the stress toy's been useful
Yeah,
on the entire
yeah.
podcast.
Good, because we have receipts. So let's
Yeah,
go.
we
Wait,
have-
can you throw me one, T?
Yeah.
Stress toy.
Yes, I'm a bad thrower.
Oh, you
Hey.
did great.
A plus. Focus stars.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have an ugly cry after this because I have it's like boiling right here.
Well,
of, like,
Kyle
so
called you
much
pretty about
emotions.
4,000 times after he said you were like evil. So don't worry, you look really good to cry. He's like, she's evil, but she's fucking gorgeous. I'm like, okay, that's a brand.
Wow.
That's a brand.
I didn't catch the end of the live because I had to film and like to put those feelings aside to film my character.
yeah.
I'm so proud of myself.
And I said that before too. Like, there's no reason for Billy to make shit like this up. So I can't wait to see the receipts. So I'm not wasting any time. This was just a little pause because we needed a pause for the cause. So let's see what these receipts are.
Okay, so intervention.
Yes.
Whenever there's just certain people I do not want to bring into this because I love them and like they're like the most kind people in the world and they have nothing to do with Victoria's craziness or Kyle and Tom. But Jason works for Tom with his band. I introduced them because they both love music. They both wanted to start a band. Like Jason is one of the most kind, sweetest souls. He's married to Kimmy, who's one of my close friends. They just started a family. Kimmy's on her second baby. You know, and Jason works really hard. Like a lot of people around Tom work really hard for him. And sometimes I don't think I will tell him, I'm like, hey, you need to have gratitude because people are kicking their ass around you, you know? And like when Tom didn't have money, a lot of people were hitting up Jason and hitting up. And then Jason and I talked about this. Like people were like, yo, the band owes me this. Tom owes me this. Tom owes me that. Like money was burning. It was a scary time financially for Tom because, you know, all of these, he didn't have so many endorsements. They just all stopped because of this scandal. And so eventually his account ran dry. And so we were really worried and he finally started getting a couple meetings, but he wasn't showing up to those meetings. And for someone like Jason who works so hard to get him meetings and to really like help him make money, which also pays the bills and pays people that work for him around him. So that was one concern. And I do also have a screenshot of me. I'm at my own meeting at Soho House in West Hollywood. And I'm literally texting Victoria and him like, hey, you have a meeting in 10 minutes. Like someone needs to wake him up. We can't get a hold of him.
This was on your birthday.
This is on my birthday.
I was at breakfast with you.
Yeah. Oh my
On
God.
your
It was
birthday. I
you.
was
Yes.
there. Girl,
Yeah.
I was there and you were calling to wake him up. I was just sitting there and I was like, girl, on your birthday brunch. They're like bringing us like
happy
free
birthday.
pancakes. And she's like, yeah, hold on.
Yeah. But like I would be in the middle of my own work stuff too. And it would literally be like,
You have a life.
everybody would be like, we can't find the key to the house. Billy, come here. We can't, like everything went through me for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
So I was constantly bombarded. And that's why like I worked really hard hiring him an assistant and trained the assistant for 2 weeks because it relieved, just like when he has a girlfriend, when he has an assistant, I have a break.
They take
Right.
the shift.
Yes.
Right.
So, and by the way, I'm like the one that, you know, it's not on the payroll.
I can say that Jason was concerned for Tom. We did see that in season 11. And they talked about it when he stopped drinking, how much better Tom was. And Jason cares a lot. And the fact that, like, these people are on his payroll, not that Billy should be on his payroll, but it's like you pay these people to be your friend, and here's Billy doing these things for you and helping you out, and this is how you treat people. And then you wonder why you have to have friends on payroll because you just can't have a friend. that you don't fuck over.
Just letting you know.
Right.
So this intervention, we're gonna go with that. Then Josh, and I don't want to bring him into this either because Josh is like one of the sweetest souls in the world. Like he's just such an amazing person. It's Tom's cousin, and he is off and on his assistant sometimes. I never like to mix family being your assistant.
Yeah.
I disagree with that, and also I don't like how Tom doesn't appreciate Josh. And I noticed that like you're easily to like dismiss him or just like not be the best boss because it's less professional. So I just didn't like that. But Josh would be like, Billie, I constantly have to cancel meetings for him. It's all the time. And so I said, okay, you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to be a bit dramatic because that's how Tom, he's from reality TV. How many years has he done?
Right.
We got to get together and like really sit down with him and because it's been bad. So this is my first receipt. Josh started a group chat with Jason, Kyle, Josh, and I. So you will see that it wasn't just me going around telling everyone and
Right.
creating this whole thing. Josh literally sent out the first text. And let me read what the first text is really fast. So this is a group chat that he started. It says, hey guys, it's Josh. We've all been discussing how best to help Tom get on the right path. So what is everyone's availability tomorrow around lunchtime so all four of us can meet with Tom to discuss this situation? It says,
So I know this is only the first text, but the way Billie does it is she kind of just goes from one text to the next, to the next, to the next. And she doesn't really read them. She says that you can pause to read them. It's just talking about the intervention. But I figured, let's stop here. Let's read all of the text. And then that way you can listen to what she has to say when she's talking about what she's talking about when the texts are flying by on the screen. So as we can see, E.K. Scandoval is really Josh. She already read the first message. He puts a bunch of question marks after that first message. And Billie says, I'll make myself free. Then Kyle Chan says, I'm good for tomorrow, lunch, 12. He then says, as long as you guys don't mind, by Beverly Center area. Josh then says, yeah, that works for me. You have time then, Jason, question mark. Billie says, Toast Bakery is my favorite. Jason then says, I can also make myself available whenever. Josh then says, okay, awesome. Locked and loaded for noon tomorrow. Toast Bakery is great. I also want to note real quick, this was March 13th. Now, here's the next text. You can see a couple are the same from the last one. Where it left off, though, it says from Josh, Kyle, you cool with me telling Tom it's business lunch with you? Kyle said, sure. Billie then said, also for privacy, we can also meet at your shop and talk upstairs. Just an idea. Kyle says, yes. Then Billie says, toast can work, but we should get the round table close to the door. Okay, perfect. Kyle then says, you can order to go also and eat at my place. Josh says, okay, awesome. Let's meet at Kyle's shop then at noon. Now here's the next one. You can see where we left off with Josh saying, okay, awesome. Let's meet at Kyle's shop at noon. Then Kyle says, only James and one of my employees who is 22 years old that don't watch the show and have no social media. Then Josh says, see you guys tomorrow then. Okay, cool. Kyle then says, cool. He confirmed, question mark. And then Josh said, he's asleep right now, but once he wakes up, I'll tell him. I'll make sure he's there. Kyle says, okay. And then Josh says, he might be late per usual, but I'll push him out the door. Now, I will say with this next one, she didn't do like she did where she showed some of the last message. Maybe it was personal because it says from Josh, thanks, Kyle. Happy birthday. Kyle says thanks. But then we can see it's the next day, March 14th, when Billie said, we still good for noon? Kyle said, yes, I am. Billie said, okay, I'm on my way. Kyle, did Tom say he was coming? Then Kyle says, I haven't talked to him. Josh, question mark. Jason says, I'm on my way too. Kyle then says, Tom, hey, I'm not feeling good and need to sleep in. Can we do this meeting another time? Josh then says, yes. Oh, shit. As you can see, Josh said, oh, shit again. Billie said, nope. Josh said, Tom just woke up. Everyone's on their way. Billie said, he says he's not feeling good every day. Is V there? Josh then says, I know that he's not feeling his best. Yeah. Tell him no. He needs to be there. That's when Kyle said, well, we know it won't work if he doesn't want to come. Josh says, one sec. I'm going to check in with him. Billie then said, Josh, tell him you will drive him. Now we go on to the next one. Kyle says, does he have to go to the premiere of The Valley tonight? Billie says, this is one reason we have to do this. He cancels all the time. Josh then says, no, he doesn't have to. Bravo would like him. That's also in the area at 5 p.m. He's in the bathroom. He just came out. I told him he needs to go. Victoria is trying to convince him to go. He's worried about everything he needs to get done and the errands he has to run. I'm trying to get him there. Billie then says, okay, he has you to help with that. Then Josh says, I told him I would drive him. I know. I mean, short of dragging him out of the house, I don't know what to do. Now, this is the last text message she shows for this part. And it's Josh saying, I told him that Kyle never hits me up for this stuff, which is true. Kyle is there anyway. You can text him again. Kyle said, okay. Josh said, I told him it was about the whiskey you are partnering with on your birthday. Kyle said, okay. Just text him. He hasn't replied. Josh says, okay, cool. Thanks, man. Kyle says, I told him he can be late, but is important. And I told him he doesn't need to get ready. Won't take long. Josh says, okay, cool. And then at the bottom, it does say Kyle, and he should go to the premiere of, as we know, The Valley. But those are all the text messages she's about to show. But she's not going to read through them. She's just going to talk over them. That's why I wanted to stop and kind of read through them with you guys. But to me, this also looks like Josh, his cousin, was very concerned. He was the one who started the group text. There's a lot of back and forth between Josh and Kyle, Billie here and there, but mainly Josh and Kyle. So when they say, like, it was Billie that started this whole intervention, I think they were all very concerned for their friend. And now they're throwing it back in Billie's face, trying to say that she was the one isolating him, when reality is they were all concerned for their friend.
So we'll obviously post these screenshots. It just is like going back and forth with Kyle and us. The thing is with Kyle is like, Kyle is one of Tom's best friends, but Kyle's never at the house. Like maybe once a month. I was at that house every single day. Like Kyle's the friend you go out in West Hollywood with and have drinks with, or go to Vegas with, or go do drugs with. Like Kyle's that kind of friend. And he's one of Tom's best friends. But I'm the best friend that sees like when Tom first wakes up, when Tom's going to bed, what's really going on at this house.
Right.
Like
It's
the after hours. Yeah. The after hours.
And so I wanted to include Kyle in this, even though he wasn't around to witness as much that was going on with Tom in the house and canceling meetings and stuff like that. But I knew he was important to Tom, and I knew that whatever we could do to help Tom. So I did call him, and I said, hey, what's your experience with Tom lately? And he's like, honestly, I don't talk to Tom that much since he started dating Victoria. He doesn't answer my calls. And I said, well, this is what's been going on. So that's how I included him. He knew from the start. There was no me scheming something in him. Like he knew, he was worried. He literally, you will see on these screenshots, he was all about being part of this.
Which he was. He was all for it. I really truly believe that they were all very concerned for Tom. And especially, I don't necessarily think maybe it was because of the new girlfriend, but they just knew that something wasn't right. He wasn't himself. He wasn't showing up to things. He was running late all the time to things. And the place was a disaster. If Kyle wasn't over there to know, then he would not know how bad the house really was. Unlike Billie, who was there all the time, or Josh, or even Jason, who would go over there. I really truly believed it was friends worried for their friend, and now they're just trying to twist this and put this on Billie, and it's not fair at all.
And didn't he call you?
Yeah, so this was like, intervention was supposed to be the 19th or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He called me on the 25th and he told me, Tom is in a very dark place. We still miss you being around. You know, he's like, his relationship is a wreck. He's in a very bad place. We're worried about him. But I just want to reach out and tell you that, like, we still love you. We still care about you. You can still come to events that we plan.
Yeah.
You know, and I was
Because
like,
he did really
that's
like
so
you.
sweet.
You guys connected, like,
Yeah,
quickly.
immediately. Like,
Yeah.
I thought he was very sweet, and he was there for Tom. But the fact that he called me, and I immediately called my mom. I was like, Kyle just called me that he's worried about Tom. Like, my mom was like, no shit. I was like,
Yeah.
"Right."
And you'll see on the screenshots, it was Kyle's birthday. That's like when we try to do it. And I was like, this is brilliant because Tom will show up. Tom's really
Right.
big for birthdays. I'm like, Tom will show up for Kyle. On
That's how we capture him, a children's birthday cake.
No, but,
Party
like,
hats.
that's one thing about Tom that I will say positive. He's like big on birthdays and he like loves buying gifts for people on birthdays. But I was like, this is a good way for him to show up because it was hard for us to get him out of the house
Yeah.
and get him away from Victoria so we can have this conversation with him.
Right.
And he didn't show up. He literally was like, I'm sick. And that's when I
But he was always sick.
Always
Everything,
sick.
Tom, everything was, I'm sick, blah, blah, blah.
literally every single day he was sick. And the crazy thing is, before he started hanging out with Victoria and drinking, he was so healthy. Remember, like,
Oh, yeah.
because
He
you don't
wasn't
drink either.
No.
No.
He's allergic to Victoria.
No, yes, he's allergic. No,
He's
he was
allergic to
never
Victoria.
sick.
Thank you,
He would
thank-
work out for 2 to 3. Call me on FaceTime on the treadmill for like hours. I'm like, when are you getting off of the treadmill? Because this is excessive.
Mhm.
We'd go out. Yeah, he was my sober buddy.
Yeah.
We would never drink. We would stay up and chill and eat pizza and
Yeah.
never sick.
He was so
healthy.
happy. And like,
Yeah.
just like, because I remember Tom before the affair, like, he always had anxiety. He always had like depression because he drank a lot. And I'm not saying he's an alcoholic, but like, he would like, you know, he likes his beer. He likes taking shots at night, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's an alcoholic. I will say when he did start drinking again with Victoria, it got dark. Like, I mean, it was like anxiety, depression, and then he was physically sick all the time.
Right. Yeah, we would go out to like, we go to the Magic Castle. We go to karaoke like religiously on Sunday and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It was karaoke night. Like
We
we
did karaoke 3 times a week with Tom Sandoval.
Yes,
That's
that was
the
our
most ridiculous
thing.
thing that's been said on this entire podcast.
No, that was our thing. And we'd go home, I'd play the piano, we'd sing even more. Like, and to
Yeah.
sing you have to be healthy. You have to have like, you know, your body has to be
Yeah.
together.
Also,
No.
he loves music. Like, singing is probably something that made him happy.
Exactly.
I was so proud of him. I will say that was really worth it for me. Like, a lot of the heartache and like the craziness that I went through losing my friends and family and like also being in the public eye, I got a lot of transphobic hate during that time.
Right.
Just because people were like, how dare you like be Tom's friend? I will say seeing him like going from like being sober and really starting to enjoy life and being in a better place and
Yeah.
not being with Raquel or Rachel, like literally just being in a good place, like that did make me feel good. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is working. Like,
Yeah.
everything that we're doing to support him is working.
And this is something that Tom himself maybe needs to open his eyes and realize you were doing so much better, whether you were more egotistic or not sober. You were doing better sober. You were healthier when you were sober. You had fun with T. And whether T was the right girl or not, the second you got with Victoria, you are back down in the dumps. You are back into your old habits. You are back drinking. You are back making stupid choices. And if you don't want it to turn into a similar relationship, because we already know that you've cheated on her as well, then you need to find yourself, somebody that you can have fun with, like Tia, or stay single, get sober, find yourself, Find out why you go towards these types of relationships. And then when you get in these relationships, why does this happen? Until you can realize what you are doing, your patterns will continue to be the same. And the pattern has continued. Your friends had a lot of faith in you, and they were there for you through the hardest of times. And the way you are now, I can tell you this, you're going to give your friends that are still there for you a chance to be like, listen, if you don't change, I can't do this anymore. Because they can't. They've done so much for you and you are not grateful. And that is just my opinion from everything that I've seen.
Even though it's no one's responsibility but his own. And I do want to just say, like, with the intervention, like, if I really thought, allegedly, that Kyle drugged him and sexually assaulted him, I wouldn't include him in the intervention.
Right,
Like, I wouldn't. No. I just, it blows my mind. I still can't get over how they can make something up like that. Like, that's what really hurt me with Kyle. Like, yeah, you can say the trans card, whatever you want to say, but like, to make up some shit like that.
I've never heard that come out of your mouth too, and I would speak on it. Like,
yes.
I would be the first one. I'm not here because I'm Billy's friend. I'm not here because I would never lie for Billy, Kyle, no offense, Tom, anyone. And I've never heard that come out of your mouth.
No.
Ever.
And, like,
I'd be the first person you'd be like, listen, I got the tea. I've never heard that
Weekly
statement.
hike gossip. That would have been the
That's
first thing you
literally
would
what we-
Right, she would have called me immediately.
Yeah. And I do think, like, whenever Victoria was like, yeah, so Tom and Kyle were on speaker. And I remember this. My last text to her was like, because I remember when I walked in the house, I was like, it literally as if like I killed someone's dog. And I
remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
You're like, the vibe is so fucking weird. I literally remember you saying that exact sentence.
And I was like slowly getting my stuff out of there because I'm like, there is some shit going on. But of course, it was after.
Mom.
It was after the failed intervention, and she found out about it. So she was like,
She's mad that she's not
"Fuck you! How dare you do an intervention without me?" Like that really drew the line for her. And like that's when she wouldn't even look me in the eye. She wouldn't talk to me. She's blaming that on the things that I supposedly said about Kyle.
Right.
It's not. It was her being upset about the not being included in the intervention. And when she was like, "We caught you on speakerphone," I remember I was driving to this exact studio on a Monday. I was on the 10 freeway, and literally she calls me. She's like, "Hey, I'm just still really upset with what you said about Kyle assaulting Tom." And I was like, "Girl, I don't know what you're talking about. I said that they did drugs together and he hit on him. Like, you must have got that twisted."
Twisting the words, yeah.
I literally called her out. So I know if I was really the one that said something like that, wouldn't they record it? If you have two people next to you on a speakerphone.
Right, and she's like, watch, I'm going to call Billy and we're going to catch her.
Why would you not?
The first thing you do is record.
Thank you.
Come
like,
on. I even record fights with my grandma because
Bro,
I'm
you
like,
learned that in middle
listen.
school. That's literally middle school 101.
Yes.
You record it if you're trying to trap someone.
If you're trying to trap someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then that means that Kyle, I guess, lied about it because if he heard that and he was actually on it.
I did.
For
I
someone who
literally.
doesn't lie, that's a pretty big lie.
Yeah, I debunked her lie.
Okay,
And
T, go on.
Just saying.
I will say, if they were trying to catch Billy in that lie, like they supposedly said, "We caught you on speaker, Billy. We got it all. We heard it all." Why wouldn't you record? Now, I understand that California is a two-party consent state, but really, if you were really trying to catch her out on a lie like that, why wouldn't you? And then just play it back and be like, "See, Billy, we caught your ass." And I do agree with Billy. If she really thought that Kyle drugged Tom, why would she include him in something that was to better him, not keep him, drugged up in the sense? I do believe, and I said that even before in the Up and Adam video, that it must have been a conversation where, like, maybe Victoria instigated it. Like, did this ever happen? Or she took words that were said and twisted it. So Billy even said, I've said, yeah, Kyle and Tom do drugs together, and one time he hit on him. That's nothing crazy. That's nothing, like, new. We already knew that that's what they did. So to then twist it to make it seem like Kyle drugged Tom to then hit on him and do stuff with Tom, that makes it so much fucking worse. And it was done on purpose to try to make Billy look bad. And that is my opinion. I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know what you think. I want to hear it all down below in the comments.
And if we're going to talk about recording, Victoria, I don't think that, like, 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 I don't think that Tom secretly records Victoria and his fights because he's afraid, because she gets manic. He told me one time, he's like, okay, this happened on my birthday, by the way. Tom goes to dinner with us. Remember for my birthday?
Yes, vegan bolognese.
This.
And I was like, where's Victoria? And he's like,
I remember she didn't come to dinner.
Yes. I swear every time, it was my birthday. It's like, girl, just like, why do you have to argue and fight on my birthday?
Yep.
Because he was giving you attention, Billy. The day was about you and you were getting the attention. It was away from her.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, he leaves and goes to meet her. Apparently, she was really fucked up. She was manic. He said that she was so evil to him and abusive. And this was him on the treadmill the next day telling me this. I said,
It's always on the
I said, Tom, you just survived a scandal. Like, this ship is already sinking. Like, would you really want someone to take it down? Like, you should not be dating someone who is physically fighting with you. All it takes is a 911 call and her being manic and making up some shit. And it's over, babe. It's over.
Right.
Like,
It already was basically over.
Literally.
This was the final
Literally.
string.
And because like, I can sense when someone's all about fame and like they're attaching themselves to someone like fame, like her. I'm like, it would benefit her so much if she dialed 911 and was like, Tom Sandoval hit me. Like, boom. She's immediately in the public.
Career again.
It would, yeah. And also, Tom said this is like, I got to be careful because look at Ariana's career. Like, any other girl can come in here and do the same thing. I'm like, you mean any other girl can come in here and be a victim? Ariana was a victim, which is why she deserves everything that she's getting. But this is what happened. And he was like, I got to start recording our fights to make sure if this goes down, I can defend myself.
Because he knows middle school 101.
Yeah,
You record
middle school
fights.
101. Okay,
Yes.
Tom Sandoval passed 6th grade, dude. That's what we know. Good for
Yes,
him, man.
go Tom. And the crazy thing too is that if you were such an isolator, why did Tom and I never fight? We fought one time because he went to go and pick another bitch up instead of drive me home at like 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yep.
When I lived like 2 miles away. I was like, can you drive me home? So I walked. I said, fuck you. And I walked home. And he went to go pick up another girl and then proceeded to drive her home in the morning.
Yeah.
That was a straw for me. But like,
that was a lot to unpack. So they're already getting into huge fights that she's going manic and that he needs to record these fights for his protection. That's crazy. And I can totally see what Billy's talking about. And unfortunately, there are some women that do this. Hate to say it, Amber Heard. I don't want to go there. I know that's a big topic. I'm not for Amber Heard. But I feel like she's like one of those kind of people that chase that celebrity fame just to be attached to a name, to be known for something. And that I could totally see go down. I really could. And it's sad because I don't think that he would be physical with any women. And I'm giving Sandoval a lot of fucking credit right now. I don't think he is the type to get physical with any woman. Restrain them, possibly. Like if they're coming at him kind of a situation. But regardless, any kind of domestic violence should not be happening, man or woman. So if she was coming at him and hurting him, then he should have seen the red flag right then and there and known that this was toxic. He does not even deserve that, and I don't like Sandoval. Nobody deserves that. And he really messed up with T, man. T seems like a down chick. Like, she really does. And I kind of was like, whatever, when I saw her on Vanderpump. But, like, the more that I get to know T, the more I'm like, man, she's down. She's cool. I would totally dig her. And it seemed like she was bringing positivity to his life, where Victoria is bringing him negativity. I feel like this is like a Kristen situation all over again. Maybe worse. Oh my God, please no. Please don't let it be that.
And here's the thing is like, I will also show these. I'll show these screenshots, but like,
Receipts by Billy and the Kid.
Victoria, she would literally be like, hey, come over. Or, hey, I got you ice cream. Or like, she would love bomb me. And Tom would ask me to come over. Like, I was always, you would see the text message. I'm like, sorry, I passed out. Like, I don't want to go and hang out like all the time. I am glad he has a girlfriend. I'm glad he's doing his own thing. Like, up until like it got really toxic, I was actually happy for him. I was like, do your thing, enjoy what you're
doing. You also
doing.
liked her in the beginning. Like,
I did.
Yeah, she really did.
You were happy in the beginning because you were like, she's cool. She sent me flowers. She's a nice, pretty girl, and it gives you time off.
And then let's go into...
You're genuinely happy when he's with someone. Like, you were genuinely happy when he was with T. You know? It's like you're genuinely happy.
Billy would tell me this too, and in my head I was just like, oh, like, cool, awesome. But Billy would still proceed to tell me, like, it's okay, he's in a good place. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Awesome, good for him. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But don't you think if Billie was an isolator, I would have fought with Tom the most because I was Billie's actual friend? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, and
Isolator, why do you want to spend more alone time with him, dude? You got your fair share. No one
You
else
really
wanted to hang
did.
out
You
with him
really
besides
did.
you. She
All
got
of America
overload
hated him.
Like, she got overload of solo time. You don't want any more of that.
Right.
And I was codependent with
Oh my
him
God,
too.
those are large paragraphs, Billie.
I know. So this
Just
girl,
so everyone knows what Billie's scrolling through, large paragraphs. That's
I can't
wild.
mention her name, and I'll show these screenshots as
Give
well.
her
But
code name.
I want to, let's say, Abby.
Abby.
Code name is Abby.
Abby.
I
Abby.
don't want, but she is, I guess, who introduced Victoria to Tom.
Fucking Abby.
And she literally was like,
Ooh, I wonder who Abby is. All right, so let's see what these text messages have to say. If we have to take a pause for the cause, I will read them, but I believe she does read it all, but let's just find out first.
I guess she's like, hold on, let me see. I don't even know where to start, but basically, long story short, I was hooking up with Tom for like a month and we got really close actually, or I thought, laugh out loud. I knew too much about him to want to date him, but I thought he was going to be one of my good friends because we got along really well. Then he introduced me to Victoria at his place when he had people over one night. She and I got along really well, and she started my friendship love bombing me. And this is what I want to say, is Victoria's pattern is to love bomb. Buy me gifts, buy me flowers. And like, what blew me away was like, I was like, wow, this girl's FaceTime me all the time. Like, she really like wants to be my friend.
Yeah.
And then the second I'm alone with Tom, she calls him over and over and over. And she said on the live, she goes, I don't think that Tom would ever want to hook up with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she goes, it was a misunderstanding. He said that something about her sleeping in the bed and then he got another call. Bitch, he didn't get another call. You were calling 15 times in a row, and then he went upstairs and got in a fight.
She was the other call.
On her other phone.
Yeah, she was the other call.
It was at night, and like he literally went upstairs and got into a fight with her. A half hour later, I'm already done with my food. The movie's basically over, and he's like, "Yeah, she thinks we're gonna be sleeping together tonight." And I'm like, "Wow, that made me feel so uncomfortable." I immediately left because the movie was basically almost over. I'm like, I don't want to feel like someone's love bombing me, but then accusing me of something.
Right.
It was just the weirdest fucking feeling.
Once the food in the movie's over, there's no purpose of the hang. You know?
Right. Bye.
That's the reason for the literally bye. That's
And
the
I ate
purpose
alone and watched the movie alone.
That's the purpose
so
of the
thank
hang.
you
Like,
for
Billie
that.
doesn't, once the food is gone and the movie's done, it's like she doesn't fucking care.
She's like going to bed.
Yeah, Billie doesn't give a shit. Once those are the important activities. When they're done, they're fucking done.
And not gonna lie, that whole situation is kind of weird. Like, you're over there just chilling with your friend, and she just keeps blowing up the phone and blowing up the phone. That then you guys get into a fight and all of that. And I didn't believe what Victoria said in Up and Adam. I didn't believe that one bit. I do, though, want to read the rest of this text message, so let's look at it. Okay, so Billie kind of left off with, then he introduced me to Victoria at his place when he had people over one night. She and I got along really well, and she started a friendship love bombing me. She invited me over for girls' night, invited me over on Christmas Day because I had nobody in LA, got me flowers constantly, told me how much she was glad she met me. I told her how I was happy to stop hooking up with Tom if they wanted to be together because I really loved having both of them as friends, and I had no interest in taking it further than friendship with him. And she told me the same thing. She didn't, and that's where it leaves off. Seems a bit odd that, you know, he was seeing this girl, then introduced her to Victoria, and they knew that, like, they were both kind of hooking up with Tom, or, like, if Victoria liked Tom, she was like, it's okay, I have no interest in him, and, like, maybe we hooked up once, but, like, I don't plan on doing it again. I love you both. Like, this would be a better friendship than me even thinking about him. That's just weird. I'm sorry, that's weird.
She said this about Tom, which I actually was like, girl, I know you're telling the truth because Tom told me this. She said, before I met Victoria, though, I should have seen the way Tom is because I remember some really insulting things. Like minutes after we had sex, one day he said to me, my next girlfriend has to be more famous than me. I can't have anybody writing my cocktails as I'm still sitting there naked, not famous. That's what like, could you imagine? Like, you just get in having sex with a guy. You're clearly not famous. And he's like, yeah, my next girlfriend has to be more famous
I mean,
than
he
me.
was saying, I want someone with clout. I want a model.
He was all about
He
a model.
was
That's why
very
he'll
specific about that.
because him and T got along really well, and I was like, like they were just having a good time, and I was like, I love T for you, like I wanted y'all to work out, and he's like, I really want a model. I'm like, first of all, T's dropped that gorgeous. What do you mean? He's like taller, like a tall model.
I know. If I look long, but I'm like 5'2".
You're so your pocket's size.
I'm literally
You're
tiny, but like you're gonna risk all that for something superficial like height. I was like, wow, he doesn't value me as a genuine person in a genuine relationship, so he's gonna get someone completely opposite of me, which seems pretty opposite spectrum at this point.
And I know this is true too, because he's definitely told me this several times. He's like, she said the first night we hooked up, he said to me, you're totally my type. I like girls who look like a little boy, or look a little bit like a boy, who look a little bit like a boy, not a little boy, like a boy. Because my hair was up. Again, just rude. He does, like, I remember like him being like, even when Ariana would cut her hair short, he'd be like, he just likes that, like, almost like a lesbian look, but it's
Tom likes men.
I don't know. I'm not gonna out it.
Tom likes feminine men.
I'm not gonna out anyone.
Like manly woman equals feminine men.
Yeah.
We figured out what he's hiding, dude.
As an
So
LGBT
Kyle's onto something.
Kyle was onto something. Fuck.
Kyle starts wearing lipstick.
It's not Kyle's fault. I'm telling you.
Delete the podcast. Kyle was low-key right, dude.
Yeah.
Kyle was right the whole time.
And Tom Sandoval is a man whose ego is even too big to fit in his own fucking body. Like, literally, just these comments are so rude, so inappropriate. Like, I need somebody taller. Well, I'm 5'2" as well, T, so rocking the shortness. But, like, need to have a model, need to have someone more famous than him. Please. Like, anyone more famous than you wants to date you. You're literally, like, the worst person to date on the planet. Do you not recall what you did and are still doing, according to Billie? Cheating on girlfriends. And I will say the only part that Billie really didn't read from that last text was that he was always talking about Ariana and it was getting fucking annoying. That's because he's jealous of the success his ex-girlfriend has received. She has worked her ass off. She's done what she's needed. Anything that came her way, she took. And she made it the best that she could out of a situation he caused that could have literally traumatized her for the rest of her life. And instead, she lifted herself up and finally reached goals in her life that she's been wanting to do forever. I will say, I saw a clip today that was Ariana on a podcast. I want to say they said 5 years ago, where she was talking about how she wanted to be on Broadway. If you guys want me to play that clip, let's play it now. I want you guys to hear it. This is how much Ariana's heart was set on Broadway and being able to do that. She's always wanted to do this. And this woman achieved her dreams and more thanks to something terrible in her life. And I give her so many props. And Tom Sandoval's just a jealous little pig. And that's why he can't shut up about her. Because he's mad at all of the success that she's had. Yeah, but he still will call her lazy, worthless, and a piece of shit. Though he knows that's far from true. But let's take a listen to that little clip and get back to the podcast.
Did you ever want to pursue a career in that?
Yeah, I thought I was going to do musical theater, like, with my life. I thought that was where I was headed. And then I realized that musical theater, you know, on Broadway is exactly the same as anything else in the arts and entertainment world. Meaning, if you're a name, you can get in there a lot easier.
I feel like musical theater would be a harder niche than just acting, though, because if you think about it, Broadway's
you have to sing and dance
one
too.
place. Yeah, but just
No, I literally, like, as an LGBTQ person, I would never out someone, so I'm not going there.
Also, on Pride Month, for him to be saying that shit, shut the fuck up.
I know.
It's Pride Month. It's the 1 month to be quiet. Say it in fucking August, bro.
Literally,
Say it in August.
Yeah, no, it was awful. Let me just see something here. She said...
Well, while Billie's searching, go order Flint Mints with code BATK for something % off.
Yeah, I need a Flint Mint. Can we get that going?
Yep. T, didn't you order these?
I ordered every flavor. It was
Okay,
great.
what's
I
your
gave
favorite
them to my
flavor?
roommate. Strawberry.
Okay.
It one's
I'm
good.
addicted to cherry.
Strawberry's strong.
Sour tangerine. Strawberry's really strong.
Strawberry's strong.
I have
that's why.
the strawberry in my purse. Those
That
are like
one's
my
good.
smoking mints when I'm like smoking at
Yes,
the
when
store
you
late
need
at
it.
night and
Yes.
I'm out of water. I like to have that and it saves me.
Yep. I gave one to my sister, to my roommate. I was like, hey guys, I have this cool mint for you.
People were addicted. I gave them out on set, and everybody's like, "What?" And I was like, giving out our code. I'm like, "Order them."
Use code PATK at checkout.
Yeah, but she says this. She's like, "I'm actually surprised I didn't meet you at the time. I was at Tom's every other day, but he did talk about you so much and said the nicest things about you and your friendship. So it makes me upset to see him go back at you like this."
Right.
And like that really,
Right.
like I literally hearted it because I'm like that. Everyone knows how good I was to him. Like
That's why this is the craziest thing. That's why.
it's the craziest thing, and it's what hurts so bad. But
I think the craziest thing is that he likes girls that look like little boys.
yeah. So I'm just gonna.
And that you did
Can I
karaoke.
play a recording? She left me a voice recorder. The thing is, like, she's like, I'm scared of them. She's like, I'm really scared that she was supposed to be on the podcast today. She's like, I'm scared they're gonna come for me. She's like,
Right.
you can talk about it, but just don't mention my name.
Let's put her in a mask.
I know, so fucked up. And she's like, my mom is like scared too. And my mom doesn't want me to do it. And like, I want to respect her. I would never force someone to come on here and put that out there.
Yeah.
You can't scare them all.
So we might have to like dub this and make the voice sound different because I don't
that's
want.
okay.
I totally agree with Sammy the Kid. Like, it's kind of creepy that he likes girls that have boy haircuts. That's still something that creeps me out, and I forgot to mention that before. But I wanted to stop real quick before we listen to the voice memo because I want to read the rest of this text from top to bottom. So it says, assure them I would be supportive and happy for them together. So it all just bothers me that she made me feel so special and then ghosted, LOL. I'd be open to it for sure. Thank you for hearing me. It's been a lot to hold on to. I'm actually surprised I didn't meet you at that time. I was at Tom's every other day, but he did talk about you so much and said the nicest things about you and your friendship, so it makes me upset to see him not back you up. And I agree. Billie has been there for him through so much. And I feel bad for this girl, Abby, because she's scared to even talk about the situation and the fact that he might come at her for talking about it. And this is how he is. There are certain scare tactics and things people do to make people scared to stand up, say their truth, and talk about what they know. And to be like, no, this isn't what happened. People do that. And Tom Sandoval is one of them. And he is not going to do this anymore to anyone. I want everyone to speak up about the things that this man has done. Because there's a lot that I feel like people haven't said because they are scared of what he may say and do. And I don't blame them. So let's listen to this voice memo that Billie has. I'll say this, though. Billie's bringing them damn receipts. Where were yours, Victoria?
I think because I met Tom in November, like early November, I think, and I was hanging out with him for a little while, and I met Victoria, I want to say it had to be like the first week of December he introduced me to her, so that was like when they started hanging out, and I don't know, she would always say like, I've never seen the show, but like, I remember like the night I was like trying to convince her, like, oh, you should give Tom a chance, he really likes you. Like, I remember like bringing up Ariana and Raquel and like telling her basically not to like worry about it, but it just kind of like seemed like she already knew all the information I was telling her. Like, she didn't really like ask questions to fill in blanks. So like that's why I think she was kind of lying about not seeing the show, or at least like not knowing the situation.
She's clearly lying.
Everyone knows.
When we were talking about it that night, but she's like, I don't know, I just don't trust her. I really don't.
That makes everyone.
It's also crazy too, like, and I didn't want to say this because mine, like I said, I was kind of also on drugs sometimes.
That's real as fuck.
It's
That's
LA.
real, dude.
Hanging out with them, so like I don't really want to trust my memory too much on certain things, but like for some reason when I saw on that podcast that she mentioned like you saying something about Kyle drugging Tom, like I don't know, it was just like deja vu. Like I feel like I'd heard somebody tell me that rumor before, and like the only person that it could have been would be Victoria. So, like I low-key feel like back in December, because I met Kyle a few times with Tom too, And so I know Victoria had to have met Kyle at that point. So, like, I don't know. I don't want to trust my memory, but, like, when that was brought up, I, like, low-key was like, I've heard this rumor before. Like, it didn't seem, like, new to me. So, like...
And she had never met you.
Yeah.
Maybe she did say that to me before.
You're right, Tish, if she never met Billie.
She'd
Yeah.
never met Billie, but she had heard it before. So
We
use
know
common
she's a liar.
sense, people.
Yeah.
Please.
It's like, I kind of feel sorry for Kyle's stupid ass for going into this with her. Like, you just dug yourself.
Truly, he's a good friend. He should have stayed out of it.
Yeah. Like, I just... Whoa. Okay, so I wanted to just put that out there. Hopefully we can dub her voice.
Thanks, Abby.
Yeah, thanks, Abby.
Thanks, Abby.
Go, Abby.
Thank you, Abby.
Yeah.
I don't know. The more and more I keep hearing, it just feels like Victoria is very insecure, and maybe she's heard things and questioned things and maybe said things to see what other people might say. But I would say the biggest issue in this entire relationship clearly is the alcohol and the drugs. And poor Abby, like, I get, like, you were doing it too, but at this point, it's like, as a recovering drug addict myself, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You are so much more happier in your life without them, and they only bring you down. They don't do anything to benefit you, and it makes you more miserable than you've already probably felt before that point. I will put in my description the link to NAMI, because they are a wonderful mental health organization, along with Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. They are another wonderful organization that helps with both the substance abuse and the mental health that comes along with it. If you are someone that has an issue and is looking for help, these two wonderful organizations can help you. I don't know, for some reason, I just feel like this relationship, even out of, like, compared to him and Kristen, just seems so toxic. He went from something completely incredible that could have been fixed and worked out with therapy if he actually gave a shit, and he chose not to. He chose to have an affair. He chose to ruin his life. He did choose to get better, which I believe was all for the cameras and for show. And now he's just trailing along on the wrong path again, and it's not doing him any justice. I wish that he would get some help. I don't care if he stays with Victoria or whatever he wants to do. Regardless, he needs help. And if he realizes with the help that he gets that Victoria might not be the girl for him, that's okay. She as well, I feel like, needs some help. She seems like she has a lot of issues in her life that aren't worked out at a very young age too. That her just even taking care of her father, that's a lot of pressure. It's just nice to have somebody to talk to. And you could put a lot of stress and pressure on yourself, and that can lead to some dangerous things because of it. I hope for anyone going through this that they can find the help that they need. I promise you, it's out there, and there are people that are there to help you, that want to help you, that will lift you up. You are strong enough, and you can do this. Even fucking Sandoval. I'll say it. Sandoval, you can do this if you really wanted to.
And then let's see here. I'm just trying to look through.
I also love that Kyle said, you know, if Billie wants to do this for entertainment value based on, like, you making lives, you're getting your entertainment value. Bitch, you're filming it like faded sitting in your car in the driveway. You're like not doing it for entertainment value.
Literally, I look like shit 90%
You're not going
of the
on
time.
a huge platform. Like,
No,
Yeah.
she's literally doing an Instagram live, like sitting in her parked car at 11 p.m. It's like, what do you mean for entertainment value? Like, people said something, so she's clapping back. If someone says something about you, you have the right to like defend yourself. It's not for entertainment value. Like, she's not like sitting in front of like, this is entertainment value. We're in a fucking studio.
And if I'm gonna say anything, it's gonna be on my own fucking terms and my own platform. So I like have the time and space to do it. I'm not just gonna jump on someone else's live.
And you control your own narrative with it.
Yes.
It's not someone else putting the words in your mouth. This is you saying like, I'm empowered and can say what I want about it.
And the entire time like the scandal happened, like I was bombarded by paparazzi. I never said anything. I like never went to the press. I never like I literally just keep my mouth shut. And I remember when production started back up, I said, guys, I don't talk to the press. If I'm gonna film, I want to clear my name. Like that was my intention going back to film this season, was to clear my name. Even though they edited it where it looked like I was madly in love with Tom, which was the opposite. And what killed me with that scene was the producers and Tom were secretly talking. And I was like, what's going on? When I came back from like the locker room and Tom was laughing. He's like, nothing. And I was like, what? And he's like, they all think that we slept together. And I'm like, what? I'm like, the whole point of me doing this and filming was to clear my name because we don't sleep together.
And to be a friend for him. Like, I remember you also telling me, you were like, he literally has no one, like not even his dad or something. Like he has like no people that like want to be on his side, and he was in a dark place. So you're like, yeah, guess what? Even if it might hurt my image, whatever they do with it, you wanted to show like not only off camera, on camera, you did not want to go back. You only were like, I'll go back just to be a good friend.
Yeah.
Like just to be like someone is actually there for him. It's in real life and it's on TV, like showing like the real life element of like you were really actually truly there for him to be a good friend, no matter what it came with. You were there to be a good friend.
Yeah, that was my intention. It was to literally show up for him, but also clear my name because most of the allegations were we were sleeping together.
Right.
But whenever production like said that and like him and Tom were laughing and had a conversation behind my back, and then later I see the edits of me like, of course I'm looking like shocked and looking up and down because he's like in a fucking cold bath. I don't know how you react to a cold bath. Am I supposed to take a nap? But like people were like, oh, Billy's so in love. Like the way that I was looking. Like, first of all, I see Tom's naked body or his fucking body all the time.
Yeah, he's halftime on FaceTime. He's like always naked. I'm just like,
he will literally call me while he's in the shower. Like he's like my brother. I don't fucking look at his body like, ooh, like Tom is not even my type. Like I don't.
was literally just gonna say it's not Billy's type. Aesthetically, Billy loves a dad bod. Billy loves a little chunk, a little beer belly, a little grease, a fucking chunky American man, dude. That's what Billy likes. You don't like chiseled.
Like I don't.
Chiseled
Like
not your vibe.
So anytime you caught me looking at him like that, like no, I've seen this dude every day.
There's just better people to sleep with, and I think you know that. Everyone knows that.
Yes.
It's not truly. He's not like Pete Davidson, you know, where you're like, whoa, I wonder what's.
Yeah.
Which I still wonder, daily.
Well, if that's what the producers were going for with that scene, they missed the mark. Because I saw it the way Billy saw it. Like, holy cow, he is just dunking his entire body in this ice cold water. Like, what the fuck? And then did it again? Like, that was just, that's not something you see every day. And that water is extremely, extremely cold. So to see someone just dive back in is just like, what the fuck? I was with her on that. I didn't think like she was looking at him and so infatuated with him. And, you know, the more I hear about the producers, the more I just am not digging them. She was there for him as a friend, and she wanted to clear her name, and I can see why, because the tabloids were very nasty, and I said it back then. I didn't think they were sleeping together back then, and I still don't think they ever slept together. I think it was purely done just to keep, you know, throwing shit at Sandoval at that moment. And unfortunately, her being his friend, she got the wrath as well. And I think even just like Billy hooking Tom up with tea right there proves she's not in love with him. Why would she be hooking up her friend with someone she supposedly is in love with? So it just didn't make any sense. I don't see that value in this season at all. And if that's what production was going for, get a better fucking storyline. Tom Sandoval, he ain't it. And if you're gonna go with the flow of what he is saying and thinking, you need some help. Because clearly, his entertainment value isn't all that entertaining. What he does that fucks up his life, it's not entertainment. It's the shock that You can't believe someone would do something like that, who for all these years put on such a fucking front that he was in love with Ariana, how much he loved his girlfriend, all of that, and that he was this changed man from Kristen to literally, you're the same scumbag you've always been. And we should have seen it all this time.
Yeah. I also just want to and again, not trying to throw him under the bus. I talked to him for an hour on the phone yesterday. I love Josh.
You've never said anything bad about him ever.
He's just the sweetest. We literally were tearing up yesterday talking on the phone because I don't want to lose some of these people through this experience. Yeah. And literally as I'm talking to him for an hour on the phone, it's 48 minutes. Victoria's calling him and he's like, I'm gonna not answer that.
How does she always know when you're on the phone with someone connected to his life, dude?
And she doesn't. She just calls everyone constantly.
She does. She's constantly calling.
She doesn't know.
She's constantly. She's manic. She's manic. But and so he said, he's like, I just shut down when they say this, Billy. He's like, they talk this shit about you, and he's like, I just shut down because I don't. He's like, I love you. He's like, I know who you are. But he literally after our episode went live that same day, he saw it, and that night it was 10:40 p.m. He left me a voicemail. I was like, hey Billy, I'm alone in the car, and I hope that you don't think I'm upset with you in any way, shape, or form. I love you so much. You have always been a really good friend to me, and I just want to say I really appreciate you. And he even said, he's like, I don't want to be involved. Please don't bring me into this. But guess what? I have to when it comes to the intervention because he was a huge part of it.
Right.
And also, he knows me just like you both know me. I am not the person to create these lies and to try to divide someone and to try to isolate someone. Right. And if I was this evil person spreading these rumors about Kyle assaulting people, why would Tom's cousin and assistant send me this love after seeing
And
me?
how would Abby know after never meeting you?
Right.
Literally.
Right. Put the puzzle pieces together.
Truly.
Also, you've never ever said anything. It's recorded. You've never said anything mean about Josh. So
you're just saying the receipts. You're just showing the receipts, which is what the other party could not do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately involved him.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with them. Why would Josh send Billy a voicemail saying that he's sorry about everything that's happening because he knows that's not true if it wasn't true? I do, though, want to read the entire thing for you guys, so let's look at it now. It says, Hey Billy, I'm alone in my car. I hope that you don't think I'm upset with you in any way, shape, or form. I love you so much. You have always been a really, really good friend to me. I really appreciate. I just want to say I really appreciate you not bringing me up and saying anything about me on your podcast today. And yeah, but I know you told me, when you were, getting your stuff out of Tom's house. So this was gonna happen. So I was prepping for it emotionally and everything. And I just want to say, if you were worried, I hope you weren't. But if you were worried that I was going to be upset, it's nothing to worry about. I just miss you. I love you. And I hope that you have gained all the things in the universe that you want. I'm so happy for you right now. And you are soaring. And I'm very I'm just happy you're part of my life. And I just really appreciate you. And I just want you to know that you weren't, I don't know. I overthink everything. And so anytime I think one of my friends could possibly be overthinking, I want to make sure to put any of this overthinking, that's the rest. But if you're not overthinking at all, and I'm just overthinking that you're overthinking, well, that would be funny. But yeah, and then I'm just being silly. But in any case, love you to death, girl. I'm going to try to come see you at one of your shows. I'm going to try my best. But yeah, I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon. All right, see you. Bye. I don't necessarily think he would be upset that Billy even talked about him in this episode. I know that she has to show the receipts after everything that Victoria and Kyle did bring up. she's never said one thing bad about Josh. I feel like Josh might, in the sense, be scared of Tom a little bit too, considering that, like, I mean, right now he's working for Tom. So that just is preparing yourself for the worst going in the next day, knowing that you're possibly going to get screamed at for, you know, not taking his side on things. It's sad, and I feel bad for Billie too, because she shouldn't have to lose friends that really care about her just because they're scared of somebody, or they're scared of what this person may do to them. And Josh is his own flesh and blood. So, I mean, that's even more scarier. But to me, that voicemail doesn't seem like, hey, Billie, you're wrong for what you did, and you're such a bad person and horrible and nasty, and I can't believe you were isolating Tom and you did this, that. No. It was, I know that you care. I know that you were there for him. I appreciate you. And I really appreciate everything that you've done. I miss you. I want to see you. I hope you're well. That's all signs of endearment. And that right there proves a lot to me. I don't know about you guys, but you guys need to let me know down below in the comments what you're thinking.
And when it goes to receipts, I do.
Should we?
Billie, you made us. This is what she said or something. I was like,
you put
okay.
the nail. Here it is. Here it is.
No, it's like, if you want to play this game with the receipts, let's play the game. It's like, yeah, I'm literally looking at Billie's phone. Abby said some shit, dude. You got some receipts.
Yeah, well, she like clearly lost on the receipt game because she didn't have any receipts
for anything.
But
so bad.
I do have a receipt of Tom being like, hey, Victoria broke up with me again. And then immediately was like, oh, never mind, laugh out loud. I'm showing that receipt because they broke up all the time. And like,
never mind, like that lightly, like, yep, let's move on, never mind. We're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
And the fact that like when this whole thing happened in New York, so she also said this on the live. She said, yeah, well, we waited for Billie to unfollow us and then we were going to unfollow her.
Yes.
Okay, that's a bold lie because I unfollowed them weeks before the New York thing.
Way before. I was on a hike with her. Way before.
I unfollowed all of them. She didn't unfollow me until after the news came out that I apparently unfollowed them in New York. People were like, "Oh, something went down in New York with Billie." No, I unfollowed them way before. That bitch was still following me, still creeping on my stuff. And then when it was public that I wasn't following them, literally probably 3 or 4 weeks later, she decided that she was going to unfollow me.
And then she never answered the question as to why they unfollowed each other. She skipped over that completely, and then Adam forgot about it. Like half of the things was just forgot about.
Yeah, well, the emotional maturity level is hysterical, and so every time they do fight, they block each other and they like unfollow each other. It's like children.
I did that on Facebook in middle school.
Yeah, literally the whole thing is middle school 101.
I Facebook blocked him. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I will say blocking and unblocking and blocking and unblocking when you guys get into fights is the maturity level of a teenager. That's what teenagers do. And that's where their maturity level is at. They can't trust each other. She's jealous. She's insecure. She's calling him nonstop. It's like being in a high school relationship, yet Tom Sandoval is 40 fucking years old. It's time to grow up. I know she's going to be getting into the Victoria stuff, so I do want to play the last clip from her car TikTok for you guys, so you can just hear that last part of it, and that way you can have heard the whole thing about everything that she felt right after the first podcast that she did. And it was before the Up and Adam live as well. So here it is.
Victoria, the root of this whole thing with Victoria is she's a very beautiful but very insecure person who has trust issues. And if you're an insecure person and you have trust issues, why are you dating Tom fucking Sandoval? Like, why? Like, be secure. Like, my girl T was so secure. Like, she didn't give two fucks. Like, you gotta be secure. You cannot enter a relationship knowing that this man is, like, literally known nationally. Like, the world knows him as a cheater and a liar. Like, why would you get into a relationship with someone and then beat them up and bash them and blame them for everything? I could not hang out with him unless we were blamed for something. I went from, like, feeling safe in my friendship to feeling so uneasy, constantly having anxiety. And I also just felt like she was using me to get, like, be my best friend, to get, you know, oh, this is Tom's close friend, best friend. Like, let me pretend like I like her and love her. And really, you're just making, I don't know. It was, y'all, it was such a toxic situation. And I 100% was not going to speak of it, but here we are. I'm trying to answer any of your guys' questions. I don't know. Apparently she's coming out and saying some shit. Let her say whatever she wants. I have no reason to fucking lie. Like, and I will say it was really hard for me to, like, see my friend go down this dark path, and then also having the constant conflict, but, like, everything that I've been through and how they both handled me when all I wanted was him to make money, be successful, and be a good person. Yeah, it was really shitty. And after I cried and just, you know, purged that friendship, I feel so much better. I don't have a grown-ass man to worry about. I don't have to worry about, like, oh my God, now he needs another assistant. Like, because if the assistant's not doing it, it's going to fall on me. Like, I don't have a grown-ass man to worry about anymore, which is really nice. But yeah, say what you want, Victoria. I know my truth, and I honestly hope that they find a better situation, maybe a really great therapist. I don't know, but I'm so happy that I'm away from that. Yeah. Guess that's it, guys. I don't know if you guys have any questions. I'm here. Oh, I do want to say that I've also heard your guys' comments about the mics and stuff. I've been asking my studio to get better mics, so hopefully that will happen too. Thanks for listening.
And then I wanted to also just talk about, there's so much, but we're almost wrapping this up, you guys. We're like almost at the end of this chaotic shit. I do have a screenshot, another receipt, where Victoria, on my birthday that night, when they got into the huge fight, she texts me and she's like,
you have so many screenshots. Just so people know what I'm looking at right now, Billy's camera roll is literally all these insane screenshots.
Oh, I was on set for 12-hour days.
No, they're all receipts. It's just crazy. I'm like looking at her scroll through. It's like all these.
Yeah, I was on set for 12-hour days, so I was like, some of these I have to be very careful. Look, again, I'm not trying to cause crazy harm. I'm not trying to out somebody.
Back up the allegations
I'm just trying to back up
you.
and paint a picture of like what I'm telling you.
Bitch, you didn't say anything until someone said something first. That's real.
Yeah.
Said nothing until something. You kept your mouth. Billy kept her mouth shut for like 6 or 8 weeks when she had all the power and the receipts in her hands ready to say things. You said nothing until they said something first. Also, it's like, you're trying to stay relevant. It's like, you're on tour, bitch. You already are relevant. Like,
right.
You know, it's like, you don't need to do that to stay relevant. If you wanted to be relevant, you would have said it 6 weeks ago when it happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally.
Thanks, Abby.
Yeah, so, okay, here it is. Let's see.
There's so many receipts.
There's so many fucking receipts. I'm like, where?
Screenshots, and then like a hot selfie. It's like hot selfie, receipt, hot selfie.
Because I was on set.
My skin is glowing.
It's literally like glowing skin, perfect jawline. Love the way my nose looks here. Receipt. Ass pic. Receipt.
I'm trying to find receipts from Victoria because she, on my birthday, like literally on my birthday, texts me and involves me in another fucking fight. And I'm like, dude, like, why are you involving me? Like, always involving me in fights. And on my birthday, like, give me a fucking day off. Like,
Billy, does she know how to, like, do things, like, independently? She needed her friend Kyle for the live. Like, maybe she just, like, needs always another person.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, I still don't understand why Kyle's here.
If it's a heavily
so many people.
emotional thing, but maybe that's just how she is, though. Like, we don't know her that well. Like, maybe I don't know her at all. I've never met this girl. Maybe if it's, like, a heavy emotional thing, she, like, needs someone there with her. Maybe that's just how she is, though.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Like, she can't, like, it seems from what I've seen on the outside that, like,
right.
It's too much for her to do these things alone.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a fight, she needs someone else to be on her side or blah, blah, blah. The live, she needed someone with her because she couldn't handle it on her own.
And Victoria seems like the type that she can't handle emotion very well, and maybe she does need somebody around so she doesn't get into that manic phase. And that's very possible that she could be very codependent on people, and kind of why she gets jealous or insecure, especially with a boyfriend, if they're with somebody else and like say she needs them. I can totally get that vibe from Victoria. There's a lot of warning signs, and I don't even know the girl. And even from what I did get to know of her from the Up and Adam interview, it just wasn't good vibes all around.
Literally call me and like during the day, slurring her words, being like, I gotta talk to you about Tom, I'm done. Like she would always say she was done. She'd always have some crazy excuse, even like he's not A-list enough. Like, I mean, crazy shit she would tell me. And then the next day it was as if she didn't remember. Like, I don't know if that's something if you're on pills or if you're manic. Maybe it's a sleeping pill during the day. I don't know. But she would say all this stuff and do all this stuff and then not remember.
Right.
So, you know, obviously they fall on my birthday. Right. So that night it was the 23rd at 1:13 in the morning. So it was still that night, but in the morning. 1:13 in the morning, she says, babe, are you awake? Please tell Tom to stop blowing up my close friend's phone. Not okay. I'm done. This is too much. Sending literal essays to her. It's inappropriate. We are trying to sleep. I'm like, why? And so at 7:07 in the morning, oh no, I was passed out. I'm sorry. I hope you got sleep, babe. And he's calmed down. Love you. And then at 11 o'clock, is he home now? I may go pick up my car. And that's one thing, as I realized too, is every time they got in a fight, she would reach out to me as if like, are you with him? What is he doing? Like,
checking.
You know, like and when she like stormed in the house that day when she showed up, it's like she hated the fact that he would be with me.
Right. He runs to you for emotional support.
Right.
And one time she was like, I need to come get my pills. And they got into a fight.
I don't think she took them.
Yeah, she needed her pills. And I was like, okay. I was like, do you want me to put them in the mailbox? She's like, no. And I was like, well, how are you going to get in? Because she didn't have a key. And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, well, I'm not going to leave the door unlocked because that's just dangerous. Yeah. And she's like, well, don't leave them in the mailbox. I'm like, well, what would you like me to do? I'm not going to be there.
Right.
And the whole point of this conversation was for me to give her the key. Like, why on earth would I give you a key when you're literally fighting with him? And like, it just was weird. And like, it was just always shit like that. And I think she also didn't like the fact that I had a key, but like, I've had a key for years.
Yeah. That's smart he didn't give her a key though, because I had a key for a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
And we hid the key together and we're like, Tom, it's over here. Like, so at least it's a little coherent.
Well, she doesn't. She probably doesn't, obviously, but like, ooh.
I think that's like the one thing that really bothers me is like, I get that you're trying to make a point that maybe she's on drugs, maybe there's something wrong with her, maybe she's doing things she shouldn't. If she is on drugs, it's not something that you should be making fun of her about, especially about like slurring the words. I just feel like there's a different way that she can handle this, and I know there's a lot that's happened, but if you even remotely think that your friend is going to stay with this girl, I think the best thing you can do is provide resources for the both of them to get the help that they need and maybe figure out what's going on, because something definitely isn't right. Whether it's just her being very insecure, her being on way too much of an anxiety depression medicine that it's making her not remember and slur her words, or her abusing drugs. She needs help. And I know she's done a lot to hurt Billie, and I'm not saying Billie needs to be the one, but if any of her friends care about her, like Kyle Chan or anyone, they would get these people some resources to get the help that they need. And honestly, they need to separately get help before they could even think about coming together and helping each other. Because it seems like with this relationship, they came together and automatically started doing toxic behaviors like drinking, doing drugs, things like that together, which you need to figure out yourself before you can figure out how it's going to work together. And when you get into a relationship where it's strictly alcohol, drug based, it's definitely not going to be the same when both people are sober. It could be completely a different feeling for each other than you realize that you didn't have. Again, I will be linking very important resources down below in my description. So if you are someone or you know someone that is suffering from mental health issues, substance abuse issues, even just maybe not being on the right medication or the wrong dose, these resources can help. And I promise you, you are strong enough and you can do this.
And then I'll just say this too, and I have this screenshot when it comes to like her including me in their fights on my birthday. Like,
happy birthday.
With the whole Ariana stuff, like she literally wanted the house, and she was staying a lot. I don't know why they weren't staying at her house, but 90% of the time they were staying at his house. And she started like moving things around, cleaning things. She started going through Ariana's plants. She wanted them all replanted. Somehow, some way, my plants got up to the master bathroom. And then I remember when I went to go get the last bit of my stuff, Josh was like, yeah, we got movers to get Ariana's stuff out of here. And you know, Tom was like not about that master bedroom.
No.
Like he literally was like, I don't care. He didn't give two shits. He took both of the guest bedrooms towards that way.
Yeah.
Like he didn't.
All his stuff, is on that one side of the house.
And like, I understand you would, if you're going to be in the house and she's not there, but like you have to wait until she comes and gets it. Like you cannot just move her stuff.
I know.
Like,
and she had a lot of stuff too. She had so many boxes, so much
many
clothes.
Boxes.
Also,
So
she's
many
like, why would
boxes.
I want to sleep in their bed? You realize he fucked more people in the guest bedroom bed than he did in the master bedroom?
Yeah, that's
Does she
actually
realize
very
that the
true.
bed she's sleeping in, from Raquel to every other bitch has been in that bed? I'd rather
Yeah.
sleep in the master bed. There was only one bitch in that bed.
Yeah,
Like, what?
that's very true.
Like, girl.
Oh my God, T. I said the same exact thing. Why was she making it like, I don't want to be in the same bed that he slept with Ariana in, but you're in the guest bedroom that he fucked every other girl and then some. Probably some of the girls he cheated on you with, even in that bed. So that statement, when Victoria said it, I even said the same thing. So, look, T, me and you are on the same page, girl.
Okay, so that's pretty much everything on my list. And I think we covered everything when it comes to the live, right?
No.
No. Okay. what else?
Should we tell them?
Yeah. Should we?
Sorry. That's
we
just
do
so funny to me.
Should I powder?
It's like teasing
Okay.
something that's never gonna drop.
Yes. No. Okay. One thing is the baby thing that really,
my
really
God, we
upset
never talked
me.
about the
No,
baby
that
thing.
really upset me because this whole baby thing. Let me just clarify. This happened over maybe 2 months. This was a span. Billie and Tom. Billie first told me, "Oh, like I want him as a sperm donor, blah blah blah," which he already knew. And they had conversations about this. This was while I was with Tom. All of these things. He called me right after he had the convo. After you guys decided, let's not do this. This is not the best thing. Pretty much mutually, right? He called me right after that. He's like, I just had the chat with Billie. It went well. We're on the same page. And then Billie had told me the same thing. Literally the same story. And that was the end of that. That was in September. That was the end of the baby conversation. For a little bit, it was very like, should I do this? And then he started really thinking, okay, if I'm a dad or I donate, then I have to be responsible for this. Then it started getting more serious. And then it came to the closing conversation. She on the live made it seem like she was the one who, Billie just brought this up and he was out of the blue. The way she brought it up was as if she was there when this conversation went down. This was solved. This was solved before he even knew her name.
Yeah.
This was all done, and I think that is so disrespectful. She took Billie's personal information. Obviously, you don't have sperm of your own or egg of your own. That is so personal, obviously. To bring something like that up randomly when she wasn't even involved.
And
she
I chose
wasn't
not
a part of it.
And I literally chose not to ever talk about that publicly. And
It was on the low. It was super
I never
low.
even brought it up here.
You have a
Yes.
platform here to say what the fuck you want. You never said anything about it.
And you know how everyone knows how much I want to have a baby. And so let me just start here. When Tom and Ariana were together, we're family. We would spend the holidays together. Ariana had her eggs frozen. She's like, Billie, if you want me to help you have a baby, I will. Tom said the same thing. Like, I'll help you have a baby. When they were together, they were like, if you want to have a baby, like, we don't want to have a baby. At the time, Ariana didn't want to have children.
Right.
She's like, if you want to have a baby, like, I would help you. That's what family does. And when you can't have a kid by yourself, you like kind of reach out to your family first.
Family and very close friends.
Yes. That's where you go
People you
first.
trust.
People you trust. And then whenever Tom and I were isolated and literally like the first couple months of like us just being stuck together because I lost all my friends. The paparazzi were outside constantly following us. I remember us having a conversation. He's like, Billie, I don't think I'm gonna have kids anytime soon. He's like, I want to continue being a rock star. I don't see myself dating anytime soon. He's like, so I would help you have a baby. Like,
Right.
I'm down. And one of my big things was like, oh, like maybe financially, like I could have a little help. It's so expensive having a baby, even just making a baby. It's so expensive.
Right.
I'm like, maybe financially I could get some help from him. And that's where like there might have been some confusion because maybe Tom just wanted to give his sperm and not ever help.
Yeah,
but
I
also
think he did. Mhm.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, and we talked about that. Like it takes getting on the same page about something because obviously having a child together is not just a simple little transaction.
Right. I would hear that from him. He's like, oh, no, but I just want to donate my sperm and I don't want to be like a dad.
Yeah.
But then subconsciously he was like, would I think like, oh, that's my kid. Like,
Literally.
that's
And
maybe
like,
Tom
how
right
can you
there.
give sperm and be
Right.
around me all the time and not
Right.
think that like there's going to be a conversation about you being the dad? Like,
Right. So that he
that's-
started thinking about that towards the end. He was like, wait, if she lived in a different state, maybe because I wouldn't see this kid, but like, what if it looks like me? What if it,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's a lot to think about. Like, I literally
Mhm.
100% agree. And also, when he started drinking and there was like drugs everywhere, I'm like, I would never have a baby
Right.
in this house. Like,
Right.
you can't. Ariana couldn't even have her dog in the house because the dog was eating and getting into stuff that was
Yeah.
hospitalizing the dog.
Yeah.
So I would never. Like, we both came to the conclusion
Right.
that
Mhm.
this is not going to happen. I never went around town and went public about it. I never went. I told my close friends.
Billie, you have a
obviously.
podcast. If you wanted to say it, you would have. You literally have a fucking podcast.
Yes.
If you wanted to say it, it would have been said here.
And she's like, well, you at Karamo Brown's. So let me just, not to throw Karamo in this because I love him. He's like one of my favorite human beings. They threw it in. But Karamo had an event for his partner. It was an amazing event. And Tom and I both know Karamo. So we decided to go to this event. We're tipsy. We're all drinking. We're having a bomb ass time. We're sitting next to a fire. We end up getting to this subject because Karamo has kids. I love Karamo's son. He's so cool. And so like we were talking about having babies or whatever. And he's like, Billie, I'll help you. Like I'll give you my sperm. And I was like, we were literally like, I want a baby. Like, let's do it, you know? And I was like, Tom is willing to help me too. Like, it was just like a nonchalant thing. It wasn't like, Tom and I are having a baby and it's going to be Scandoval. And it's like, I never had that conversation.
Paperwork to change your last name like the fake kid that doesn't exist. It's
like,
it's a drunk conversation, which you're allowed to have. You shouldn't have to feel guarded when it's a lighthearted conversation, just expressing this is something I want. It's not like you're like, this is what's definitively happening. Like,
Yes. And after that night, Tom and I end up having a hard conversation about it and was like, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling. Well, if I was to do this, I would want this. Like, you know, there was a conversation that needed to happen.
Right.
And I'm so happy. Obviously, it all worked out for a reason. I'm no longer connected to that. Thank God I would never have a kid that was connected to
and
that
that
situation.
was long done before he met Victoria.
Literally before. So
I
for her
couldn't
to bring that up.
She made up that whole story of, when Tom talked to me, that's why she was stuttering so much because it wasn't true.
It's funny because I really didn't even need this episode to know that what Victoria was saying, even then, was so not factual. To hear that this was a conversation that happened and was over and done with long before Victoria even came along just shows that, yeah, maybe Tom and her discussed it, whatever, but she took it way too personal and used it as a weapon when she never should have. It is not her body to be able to discuss what Billie wants to do with her life. And I hate to say it, I know how Billie feels because unfortunately on this same platform, I've had a woman trying to discuss my ovaries and what I'm doing with my life because she doesn't like what I had to say. Or she has an opinion about my age and why I haven't had kids yet. When it comes to situations like that, it's no one's fucking business, number one. Unless you make it someone's business. I had never made it my business, just like Billie never made it her business. I never came on my platform and said anything about it. I did say that we were trying, and that's because I care about my community, and I wanted my community to know. Probably the same with her, where she was discussing it with friends, how she really wants to be a mother, really wants to have kids. And like she said, the first people you go to are your family or people that are your friends that are family. And it is a very hard conversation. I'm glad that she had that conversation. I'm glad it was figured out way before Victoria. But for Victoria to use it and weaponize it, and Kyle too, just proves how low some people will go to manipulate a situation to make somebody look bad for their own personal image and gain. That's fucked up. And it was fucked up then, and it's still fucked up now. This is Billie's story to tell, not fucking Victoria's or Kyle's. And they had no room to even discuss her position of what she wants in life. And if that was a conversation between her and Tom, the only other person really that should have been talking about it would have been Tom. But even then, I still feel like it's Billie's choice, and it was something that if she wanted to talk about, she would have, and she didn't. And it still bothers me to this day that they even use that as a weapon against her. I want to know what you guys, though, think down below. Do you think that they did it to hurt her? Do you think that they did it to weaponize it to hurt her? Or do you really think that Tom made it more dramatical to them that they took it that way? Let me know down below what you guys are thinking.
It was. She's like, what they say tell me next.
Yeah.
How does the story go again? Kyle, help.
Yeah, it was
What?
insane. Poor Kyle.
That's when I logged into my YouTube and I said, oh, hell no, she did not go there.
Yeah, because you were there the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, this, I know 100,000% is a flat out lie.
Yeah.
You were not involved. You guys did not even meet yet. It was done.
Yeah.
No.
Her whole mission was to paint me into looking like this awful human being. And it's just like, girl, you have to create lies to do that. Like, you don't even have receipts or proof. And
Should we show the receipts?
yeah,
Should we do it? Should we?
And it's just so obvious that she's on something. And I think at the end of the day, I hope she gets help, because I don't want to see something awful or, this end in a way where someone ends up being injured or hurt.
Right.
And I know one of the first conversations I did have with her was she wanted to possibly look into getting a sober house or like a detox place. It's not necessarily a rehab, but it's like a detox. And I hope that she continues that conversation and that she does get help, because addiction is a very serious thing. And at the end of the day, I don't want them to have any type of physical harm, even if they are lying and creating all this bullshit for me. Is that it?
Yep.
10 minutes?
And that's the end of that. Like, this shouldn't be more shots fired. This also, I'm from the normal world, not the reality world.
Yeah.
This is not how people fight. Usually you have a conversation. The fact that the public needs to be brought into all of this. And like, I felt the need to come here because it's not right. Not because I want any sort of like attention, but it is not right to hear these lies. And that's why I'm here. But I don't want to be involved in this. I'm private on Instagram because I don't want anyone else following me about this. This is not how normal people do things. So this just needs to be the end of we cleared it. We have the receipts. I spit facts. I would never lie for you. I wouldn't lie for anybody.
Yeah.
Unless it's to save a life. Like, I would not do that.
You've been one of my realest friends. And
it's true. Anyone who talks to me is like, whoa, like, she's not from LA. No, I'm not. I'm from an island.
Hawaii doesn't
I don't
play.
do this.
Hawaii don't play.
No,
Hawaii
this is
bitches are not like
ridiculous.
LA bitches.
Yes, I moved here and I was like, what the fuck is everyone on? Like, seriously. So this is just to clear the air. This is no more shots fired. This is facts, and I have to support my friend because I know these things are 100%. And that's why I'm here. If I didn't feel like they were, I wouldn't be here, really.
Yeah. No, and you literally called me and was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're lying.
No,
like,
I was
what
like,
do
are
you
you
need
okay?
from me? Yeah.
Literally.
And I appreciate every person. And like, there were so many amazing, like, people that I don't even know. Like, I've been DMing and trying to respond to people and messaging people and commenting, because literally people have come out of the woodworks being like, I believe you.
Right.
Like, we're here to support you. I'm so sorry you're going through this. And like, that means the world to me. And obviously I've said this on my Instagram, like, I've not always showed up for people in the past, especially when I was filming the first 2 seasons of Vanderpump. I was going through a really hard time. Vanderpump, I think, paid me like the smallest little chump change, and I was struggling to buy clothes and pay my bills, and it just was a really hard time for me. And also just discovering, like, you're putting yourself out there, and my trans experience in that way, it was just a lot. So I'm trying to do better showing up.
And Billie, nobody's perfect, and for you to understand that, admit that, take accountability for your actions in the past, and to work on being a better person and work on being there and appreciating the support that is around you, the people that do really care about you, that don't know you, that shows a tremendous amount of growth. And I can see so much how Billie has grown just from the bit of drama that I've gotten myself into by listening to all of this, but I've also really enjoyed listening to her podcast, and it's something that I'm going to continue without all this drama because I really feel like she has grown so much as a person. She is a wonderful friend. She might not have the best friends, but she was there through thick or thin. She's a ride or die chick. And that's the type of friend that I am. And I look for people that are similar like that because you know that they will always have your back. They will always be there to support you. And they'll be there to have those conversations, even if they're tough to have. And normal people, yes, don't do things like this and go all over the internet and humiliate people. And it's definitely a different society that we live in. It's something new that the younger generation is definitely dealing with, as well as, the older generation is something we have learned as we grew with the internet. I know I am somebody that grew with the internet. I remember starting back being so young on AIM, in middle school, and LimeWire, Napster. I grew with the internet just like they did. It's a living learn process. There's no right or wrong answer at the moment. And I actually read a really important news article, and I try not to follow a lot of news because it's a lot of really depressing stuff. But they are bringing more attention to the impact on social media and kids and mental health. And also with mental health with adults. And I think that's very important. I think it's a good thing that they're looking into this because there is a lot of issues that happen because of social media that truly impact people's mental health, their ability to just lead a normal life even sometimes, and get sucked into a digital reality without living in the real reality. I even think Billie showing that even with all that was said and done, all she really wants is for both of them to get the help that they need. And I don't think it was an insult, her saying that Victoria was looking into getting into a detox program. I think it was a way to remind her that there are things that you really had your heart set on and that you can still achieve these, and there are resources out there. And I do wish the same for Victoria, as well as Sandoval, though I still feel like his ego is just way too big to admit to some of the things that he does, and I've kind of marked him as a lost cause. I really have no faith in him, though I do wish him the best, and I don't want to see anything bad happen to him. I wish that he could find himself and establish real connections with people and not be such a fucking asshole. Plain and simple. Now, she's going to go into her new book. This is the end of the podcast, so let's all enjoy it. And you can pre-order her book. I will link that down below for you. But it does come out, I believe, in October. We will find out, though. She definitely will say it. But let's listen to the last little bit.
Ooh, so cute. I haven't seen this, Billie.
Me too. I know. It just came in the mail yesterday.
Wait.
Billie wrote a book.
You showed me the font, but I love it. Oh my god. Show everybody.
Give me 5 minutes. I'm reading.
Oh my gosh.
How cute is it?
I could see myself in a cafe don't bother me. Look at this cute ass book.
I know it's crazy, dude. I can't even read and I like this book. This is crazy, dude.
No, they make it very
kid friendly.
Kid friendly.
It's so cute.
But it's
Nice.
a lot of people sharing their stories
Colors.
about microaggressions, and
Oh my god.
it just reminded me
Jacob.
Yes, Jacob's
I
in there.
love Jacob. Addicted.
Yeah, you call them Jason.
Jason.
But yeah, I just want to also say a lot is happening in June. It's Pride Month. I'm going on tour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally leaving tomorrow
BigHappyTour.com.
to finish my tour, and then also my book is available for pre-order. This all was happening And planned
has been-
years in advance.
Yes.
Billy, the
Like,
book has been
for a
going
long
on for 2
time.
years. You're not
This
doing
is-
this for.
Yes. I didn't rush and hurry up and write this book in 2 seconds to put it out there. Like,
Favorite quote of the book on top of page 114, quote, "You look Jewish."
yeah, it's about a microaggression about, obviously.
That's funny.
Wow,
Okay,
it's here. I'm so proud of you, Billy. This is crazy.
I know.
Billy
Listen,
wrote
I've
a
heard this
book.
for like 2 years now. Ah! I get to touch it.
Yeah.
Billy, we should print out a picture of it for the wall.
Oh my
I know,
God.
we
It's
should.
still up here.
Yeah,
This
that
is
would
so
be really
cute.
Let's add a picture of it. We can.
Yeah, the blue would be
Guys.
so cute.
Hi guys, please get Billy's book.
Yeah, you can
Should we tell
pre-order.
them? Should we tell them?
Should we?
Should we tell them? Guys, it's here.
Yeah, it's here. You can pre-order. It officially comes out
Oh my
in September.
God.
And then I'll be doing an entire Why Are You So Sensitive comedy tour / book signing tour and a speaking engagement tour.
Yes, this is like the rich girl pages. This is glossy.
No, it's-
I wish they could touch this. This is the pages that I'm like,
Really
yeah,
nice
I'm
texture.
reading. I'm
Really nice
reading.
texture.
Yeah,
leave me
yeah,
alone.
But
Oh.
thank you so much for both of you showing up today and supporting me because it has been a very challenging week. I love you.
Love you, Billy.
And thank you all for watching this episode. If you want to support us, please order some mints and suck all the dick you want. It's amazing.
Not Tom's dick.
Not Tom's
Spread
dick,
the
no.
spread the aloha. Spread the
Yeah,
love.
spread the aloha.
Spread the aloha. A perfect callback
Spread
to
it.
the first episode from. Wait, when did we have tea on?
A while ago.
A while
while
ago,
ago.
yeah.
No, but there was like a Hawaiian storyline. We're gonna take out that I said that. That
No.
doesn't matter.
Can we just say, can I congratulate one of my best friends for being on Sunset Boulevard?
Thank you. I love you. I was crying.
She
really
was
hard.
like literally all over Laugh Factory.
I
She's
was crying really hard. It was really crazy.
yeah, it was really
really
cute.
crazy.
I have a love hate with Laugh Factory,
know,
but I love
yes.
her.
That's why
and
it's
I
hard.
know
But we support
it's-
you.
Yeah, we support you.
Yeah. No, it's hard.
And you
because
deserve to
Love
be
you.
all over fucking Sunset Boulevard. You work
Billy
so
believes
hard.
in me as much as my parents do, which is like a big
Yes.
means the world. You know, comedy's the only thing that I care. Comedy's the only thing that makes me cry. Ironically, it's the
Yeah.
only thing I take seriously and the only thing that makes me emotional. So when the big things happen, even if it's like stuff that's like sensitive for you, it means the world that you're still like supportive about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
know?
of
Like,
course.
it means
Yeah.
love you. You know,
I love
it
you.
means the world.
And thank you all for watching this and supporting us and for believing me because at the end of the day, all we have is our truth. So thank you.
That was deep, dude. That was fucking deep.
So, guys, what do you think? Are you Team Billy or are you Team Kyle, Tom Sandoval, and Victoria? Let me know down below what you thought about this. I think Billy did a great job coming through with the receipts, not getting too crazy with them, not trying to hurt anybody with what was being said, but just directly addressing what they addressed. I know Billy, she could have been Petty Betty if she really wanted to, but she just wanted her truth out there, especially when so many nasty lies were spread. I truly, at this point, I'm on Billy's side, and I hope that Victoria can get the help that she needs. I hope that Tom can still get the help that he still needs. And Victoria, you're a beautiful woman. You seem very smart. You are taking care of your father. I think you need to take some time for yourself, to take care of yourself, and to figure out who you are. You are way too young to be tied to a man who is known to have narcissistic traits, to be a cheater, to be a liar, to be a manipulator, to just overwhelm the women that he's with. He does not have a good track record, and if you're trying to make a name for yourself, you should have stuck with Leonardo DiCaprio. But let's say that really wasn't as real as we thought it was. Was it, Victoria? Now that's me being a little petty. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm sorry that it took forever. I got news that my brother and his wife will be coming up to visit. They have a wedding to go to, so I've been running around, getting things ready, trying to work on this, grocery shopping, helping friends with their webpage, helping other friends with their channel. That's just who I am. I'm a person that will throw myself into a million directions, and if I can help somebody, I'm doing it. I don't change for YouTube. I am who I am, and I'm glad that you all enjoy me and you're here for me and you love it. I love you all. I love getting to chat with you all and talking with you all. We will be doing some story times so you guys can get to know a little bit more about me and just have fun here. That's what I want for this channel. So we will be back soon because I've already have 2 other videos that I've already started that are in the works. One is almost done. So I hope you're ready. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Please make sure to like this video. That helps so much for me and the algorithm. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will see you again very soon. And make sure to keep that shine shining, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.
I'm not gonna let you go. Oh, I'm gonna hold you close. It's hard, cause it took 5 years until